ourselves to be very orderly and well coordinated so that it will be timely and our program will flow as expected. Please kindly push forward. People are sitting just closer to the door, and there are so many seats here, this side. They are not reserved for anybody. They are all for us. You have decided to sit closer to the door, and I think you are blocking for others. So those who are coming in, I hope the ushers, the technical team, please can help us to direct the leaders to come on this side. Hope you have confirmed your name is listed against your zone outside. Before you get seated, hope you have confirmed your name is listed against your zone outside. Before you get seated, hope you have confirmed your name is listed against your zone outside. Before you get seated, hope you have confirmed your name is listed against your zone outside. Before you get seated, there are so many seats on this side, please. Those who are coming in, so many seats. There are so many seats on this side. Those who are invited are coming in, respective chairmen of respective groups, or their representatives. There are so many seats on this side. Those who are invited are coming in, respective chairmen of respective groups, all their seats are in front here. Respective chairmen of respective groups, all their seats are in front here. We wish everybody gets seated as fast as possible. We wish everybody waste a lot of time seated as fast as we don't want to be together for more than 2 hours, including the 1 hour we scheduled. Waste a lot of time. So they are not here. They are not want to be together. These are not reserved. They are for all of us. All those who confirmed that they are coming for the meeting today. Come forward, those are standing. There are still more seats over this side. Yes, those who are coming, there are more seats on this side. Even the frontage, not reserved, please, you can answer us in there. Yes, those who are coming, come this side, there are more seats. I can still see some empty seats. Advisory board members come forward. There are about 3 seats here of empty. Good. I suppose all of us have checked and checked your name with the respective clerks of the respective zones. Before you sit or before you start off the meeting. Advisory board members, I think there are your seats here in front. So anytime soon now, we are going to start our meeting. We request that we all get ready and our program will flow very well without unnecessary disturbance so that we will spend shortest time possible as we have agreed upon. Kwa hivyo kidogo tukigojea wengine. Let me continue. Okay.
once in a while. Tunaweza zoom kwa simu.
Okay, ile tuna kama tu
ile ni recording tu. So sasa tuanza actually kwa hata nitachukua na ile. So wakiongea record. As in edit from camera. Wakiongea record kiata stop. Make sure unachukua ile panel yote pale mbele. Ndio wapate
as we wait for our leaders. As I'm saying that we are living in extraordinary times, during the conduct of our meeting, and I believe we are not in isolation, even in the wider community and in other meetings that are being conducted nowadays, we want to be very fast, very objective, without a certain mindset. When I'm coming to the meeting, that I'm focusing on this particular mindset. We become very objective. For instance, if you are to raise some issues, you become very particular on an issue that probably could be affecting the entire program. If you have issues related to your zone, there are leaders elected for that purpose, and even soon after this, we are also going to interact. Handling the meeting in an objective manner will enable us, or enable the program to flow, and we conduct it in a manner that it will not take unnecessarily too long. We request that during the flow of the program, you have them and you have the pen. You'll be noting the areas of concern so that then, when given an opportunity, be very fast in responding to that. When the minutes are read, I think you agree with me that the presenters, various matter, and therefore would be we listen to it. If there is anything that would be touching or could be necessary to be responded to, so that in a situation whereby or the rest who will speak as leaders, then can have an opportunity. That's a very well coordinated and flowing program shall be able to be. Thank you. You can see you are starting outside there. The seats are provided for you here. We are now waiting for the leaders. Thank you, Peter. Asante sana. That is Nairobi Central, Nairobi West. Thank you. Mangu, thank you. Mr. Dunga. Thika, asante sana. Yatodo Kigajo, thank you. Eastern Zone, thank you. Ruaraka Zone, thank you. We are still missing some more, yeah. Limuru Zone, Karibu. We are still missing a few others. We want the leaders to be seated so that then we progress with our program of the day. Mr. Nganga, we are waiting for you. Roa Kiabu Zone, not yet represented here, but I can see you at the door. I'm sure we are all sanitized. We are ready in heart and mind to go to our business of the day, the 29th Annual Readers General Meeting. I hope we have all rechecked our names with the respective clerks of our zones outside there, so that there will be no challenges thereafter. So I can see we are getting ready. I've seen Sister Director has set. We also have our guest from Microfinance Bank. Karibuni sana. Tumsifu Yesu Kristo. Tumsifu tena. As we got organized, we were waiting for this great moment. Your Lordship, Bishop Kamau, Sister Director and the rest of the leaders, viongozi wote kutoka vikundi mbalimbali, hamjambo. Kwa mikono hamjambo. Asante. Sasa tumefika wakati mwingine ambao tutaanza mkutano wetu lazimi, ambao ni mkutano wa 29 kama vile tumeambiwa. And I think we will follow the program very fast and very efficiently. And at this juncture, I now want to welcome Sister Bashi, Sister Director, for opening remarks. Sister Bashi, welcome.
God is good. All the time. And all the time. God is good. I take this opportunity to welcome you to our 29th Leaders Annual General Meeting. This is an occasion whereby we are celebrating the 29th gathering like this, and also looking at the achievements and the performance of our program for the last 38 years in which our program has been in existence. At this particular moment, I want to share with you our theme for this year's Leaders Annual General Meeting, which is developing resilience for continued economic empowerment. We will be celebrating our 29th Leaders Annual General Meeting with the theme, Developing Resilience for Continued Economic Empowerment. We are here together as leaders from different self-help groups within the Caritas of Nairobi self-help program. We are here as zonal representatives from the different zones that takes care of the needs of our self-help groups within the Archdiocese of Nairobi. And we are here again as the technical team from Caritas Nairobi that gives guidance and support on the operations and the running of our self-help program. At the same time also, we have some of us representing the Archdiocese of Nairobi Social Promotion Registered Trustees, who again take care of the legal framework that guides the issues of our self-help program. So, in a nutshell, what I'm saying is that we have congregated here together as stakeholders of our Archdiocese of Nairobi self-help program. So I welcome all of you to this celebration, and as we look together at the performance of our program, let us all participate at the level and capacity each one of us would be able to. Basically, those who are here with us today and those who are following all the activities through the virtual platform, we are all welcome. In a special way, I would want to welcome His Eminence, John Cardinal Jue, in his absence here. He is supposed to be with us at the moment, but he is attending an issue outside, but he will be joining us later on. He is the Archbishop of Nairobi Emeritus at the moment, but we cannot forget the journey he has. He has journeyed with us until where we are, so we will welcome him officially when he comes. I'm also welcoming the Archdiocese of Nairobi Apostolic Administrator, Right Reverend Bishop David Kamau. Thank you very much, Your Lordship. We always appreciate your presence during our meetings. You have also journeyed with us, you have encouraged us, and you have really given us the direction on how to take care of the resources of the members from our groups. We are also welcoming to our meeting Mr. David Mukalo. You can just wave. The new CEO to Caritas Microfinance Bank. Mr. Mukalo joined us as the CEO to our bank from 15th of February. Yes, this year. You are most welcome. Let us appreciate him anyway for accepting to give that good service. We will be also in our midst, and I'm not sure whether our auditor is already with us. Mr. Kegundo, okay. Mr. Mwaura is with us. Thank you very much. We welcome him to come and also help us understand how we performed financially last year. We are also welcoming now everybody else who is in our midst, the leaders to our groups, the advisory board members representing leadership from all our zones. We have the technical office from Caritas Nairobi, and also other staff members from the Archdiocese of Nairobi. So you are most welcome to our annual general meeting today, and let us participate as much as we can. Thank you very much. You are all most welcome.
Probably sister deserve a better heart than that. Please, makofi kwa sister. Thank you, Sister Basi, for Sister Director, for that welcome note. Maybe we may not be able to be known, all of us, by name, but probably, can we get the people from Central Region? Central Region, can we see you, the leaders from Central? You can stand up, you can also exercise, it is important. From Central? Wawili, watatu, wanne, watano, okay, tuwapigie makofi, asante sana. Can we get people from Thika Zone? Thika Zone wasimame, tuwapigie makofi, appreciate them. Can we go to Eastern Zone? Watu wa Kinyanjui, asante sana, tuwapigie makofi, asante sana. Do you have people from Kagwe Zone? Kagwe Zone? Okay, thank you, tuwapigie makofi, asante sana. Gatito Kegajo viongozi? Okay, tuwapigie makofi, asante sana. Hapa Kiambu, viongozi hapa Kiambu, yes, hapa Kiambu, tuwapigie makofi, asante sana. Ruaraka Zone, thank you very much, tuwapigie makofi. Limuru Zone, thank you, tuwapigie makofi, asante. Western, thank you, makofi kwao. Mangu Kiaguno, thank you, tuwapigie makofi. Gatodo Zone, yes, very good, makofi kwao. Roa Kiambu, thank you, makofi kwao. So we are full house, all zones are well represented, and of course with the respective advisory board represented from your respective zones. And of course, Sister has introduced our guest of the day. Therefore, we are well constituted and ready now to move on to our meeting. Without much ado and without wasting time, I'll call upon Bernard Gochi, who will take us through the minutes of our last general meeting.
Minutes for the 28th Leaders Annual General Meeting held on 14th March 2020 at the Catholic Parochial School. Members present as listed. Agendas as listed. Minute number 1, preliminaries. The meeting started at 11:48 a.m. with a welcome note from Sister Mary Mbashi, who introduced the theme of the year as Embracing Dynamism for Positive Transformation. She introduced the guests in attendance as follows. Chief guest, His Eminence John Cardinal Njue, and Father Emmanuel Ngugi from Social Promotion Registered Trustee, and issued an apology from Father Simon Nganga. She also introduced Caritas Nairobi Advisory Board, Mr. Martin Thaithi from Kagwe Zone, Mr. James Kinyanjui from Upper Kiambu Zone, Mr. Joseph Ngugi from Mangu Zone, Mr. Peter Gashero from Nairobi Central Zone, Mr. Graham Waliaula from Ruaraka Zone, Ms. Rose Wangoi from Gatundu Zone, Mr. Daniel Mwaura from Gatito Kiganjo Zone, Mr. Lawrence Kiogora from Thika Zone, Mr. John Nganga from Lower Kiambu Zone, Mr. Alan Ngugi from Limuru Zone, and Mr. James Kinyanjui from Eastern Zone. Minute number 2, reading and confirmation of the previous Leaders Annual General Meeting minutes. The minutes of the previous Leaders Annual General Meeting were read by Ms. Virginia Witherero of Caritas Nairobi. They were proposed by Mr. George Mongai Muthe from Kamugoga Self-Help Group and seconded by Ms. Veronica Kiama of the St. Jude Donholm Self-Help Group as a true record of the previous meeting proceedings. Minute number 3, matters arising. There were no matters arising from the minutes read. Minute number 4, statistical information. The self-help program statistical information was presented by Mr. Ivan Kaboi of Caritas Nairobi, who noted the following. 1, as at 31st December 2019, the program had a total of 192 groups, out of which 167 were active and 25 were dormant. He also noted that 2 new groups had been registered during the year 2019. 2, the total number of members as at end of 2019 stood at 133,600, out of which 111,911 were active and 21,689 were dormant. This represented 84% and 16% of the total members, respectively. 3, the total program savings had been increasing gradually over the last 5 years. The increase had been linearly correlated to the increase in annual contributions over the last 5 years period. The total program savings stood at Kenya shillings 6.8 billion as at the end of 2019, and the contributions made during the year were Kenya shillings 1.1 billion. Number 4, the total program loan book stood at 2.86 billion Kenya shillings, out of which 2.7 billion were performing and 0.09 billion were non-performing. This represented 97% and 3% of the total loan book, respectively. 5, as at 31st December 2019, the total investment made through Caritas Nairobi stood at 4 billion, up from 3.3 billion in 2018. This was a 20% increment. The statistical information report was proposed for adoption by Ms. Assumpta from St. Matia Mulumba Self-Help Group and seconded by Mr. Boniface from St. Vincent Kamulu Self-Help Group. Minute number 5, speech by Sister Mary Mbashi, Executive Director, Caritas Nairobi. 1, welcome note. She started by affirming that the self-help program was celebrating that 7 years of existence and achievements, therefore adopting the theme, embracing dynamism for positive transformation. This theme was informed by the fact that the program operates in a very vibrant environment with so many like-minded players, hence the need for embracing dynamism for proper change. Number 2, audit. The 2 audit approaches which had been proposed in 2018 Lagum were effected in 2019. At the start of the second half of 2019, there were 2 teams of auditors. One was handling 2018 groups full year audits, and the other one was handling 2019 groups continuous audits. This was meant to clear the then existing backlog. 41 continuous audits had been done by the close of 2019. The program also employed 5 more auditors in 2019. She stated that the intention of the program was to audit all groups in 2020, and by 2020 Lagum, 47 groups had been audited to the AGM level, and 24 AGMs held, as well as 4 special AGMs already conducted. Capacity building. 102 self-help group staff members were trained in March 2019 during the annual staff workshop. This was aimed at bridging the already assessed and identified training needs and skill gaps. The 2020 self-help group staff training had been slated to take place in 2 phases. The first round had been planned to take place in March 24th to 28th, 2020, targeting senior staff members in the self-help groups. The second round was to take place in April 21st to 25th, 2020, targeting the rest of the staff members. A training needs assessment was already in progress to ensure areas of need were addressed during the trainings. ICT. 15 self-help groups had been migrated into the Lux 360 system in 2019. However, more groups could have been migrated were it not for the inadequate staff members in the ICT department. The target for 2020 was to migrate 20 more groups. Medical cover. The 2020 renewal of subscription had already been effected. This created an expectation of improved efficiency from the self-help staff members. New guideline and policies. The self-help program guideline and policies had been amended and were to be launched during the 2020 Lagum. They included self-help guideline, self-help credit policy, self-help program HR policy, self-help program governance manual, and self-help program finance policy. The director requested all leaders to read and embrace those policies for the good of the program. She recommended that every group should buy at least 5 sets of those policies and distribute them as follows: a copy for the patron, staff, and management for better guidance to the members. The cost of those documents was to be communicated before 1st April 2020. Investment. Sister Director stated that the investment portfolio had grown from Kenya shillings 3.3 billion to Kenya shillings 4 billion in 2019. That was the biggest increment within a year since the program started. The main cause was attributed to the corresponding increased total member savings. She encouraged leaders to come up with ways of attracting members to take up constructive loans and by making them understand the core business of the program. Investment in Caritas Microfinance Bank shares. By March 2020, a total of Kenya shillings 600 million had been contributed as share capital by groups towards Caritas Microfinance Bank. The bank had not broken even as there was loss of business to commercial banks as a result of lending limits set by the regulator. She placed a request that by 31st March 2020, groups to inject Kenya shillings 25 million towards the same, and by the end of June 2020, groups to contribute another 25 million, making it 15 million. This was to ensure that the Caritas Microfinance Bank doesn't lose business to commercial banks. Lastly, Beacon Boys program. Sister Mary thanked all the stakeholders for the support towards the Beacon Boy program, especially through the Catholic Men Association. The director's speech was proposed by Mr. Robert Motinda from St. Francis Kasarani Self-Help Group and seconded by Cecilia Maina from Blessed Sacrament Buruburu Self-Help Group. Minute number 6, presentation of audited accounts. The audited financial statements are presented by CPA Mwaura from Kigundu and Company, who noted the following. 1, total program incomes grew by 28%, where income from investment Total program incomes grew by 28%, where income from investment and from tithe made up 75% of the total incomes. 2, staff costs went up because new members of staff had been hired during the year. 3, the capacity building expenses went up as the number of trainings had been increased. 4, the main asset of the program was long-term and short-term investment, which had increased by 7.6%. He cited that the assets were internally financed and were at no risk. 5, CPA Maura finalized by stating that the financial statements gave a true and fair view of what was happening in Caritas Nairobi self-help program. The report was proposed for adoption by Mr. Nyaga from St. Vincent Kamulu and seconded by Ms. Catherine Wangare from Mary Immaculate Riabai Self-Help Group. Minute number 7. Presentation of 2020 budget. The budget was presented by John Gishomo of Caritas Nairobi. It was proposed by Mr. Isaac from St. Benedict Self-Help Group and seconded by Theuri from Mother Teresa Self-Help Group. Minute number 8. Speech by the chief guest, His Eminence John Cardinal Njue. His Eminence started by thanking the leaders for finding time to participate in the Lagum and was glad to be among them. He stated that the self-help program had continued to reach out to more less fortunate in the society, allowing them to grow to a place of self-reliance for the last 37 years. The vision of the servant of God, Maurice Michael Cardinal Ochunga, borrowed from the book of Acts that stated, everything was distributed to each according to their needs. That started in Kiriko Parish in 1983. His Eminence mandated the coordinating office to revive the Kiriko Parish self-help group, immediately since it is the mother of all self-help groups in the Archdiocese of Nairobi. He noted that the program had grown as a mustard seed, and its impact has been felt in over 100 parishes within the Archdiocese of Nairobi. Leaders were reminded that they had a duty to spread the good news of the self-help program movement to everyone they came across, and also the eternal wealth of unique gifts given by God to benefit His creation, since where much was given, much was expected. He called them to enhance the dynamism of our leadership for the people we lead. Policies were being launched as the program can't be run without guidelines that help them enhance the vision of the program. Therefore, he asked leaders to read, understand, and implement the policies in the groups. They defined and described the common plan of the self-help program actions and vision, which seek to enhance transparency and accountability when handling members' resources. His Eminence further asked leaders to lead by example and avoid being in scandals. The Archbishop finished by thanking leaders and asking them to keep up the good work they were doing and move ahead, since the growth noted was a result of the leaders' dedication and that challenges should not discourage them. His Eminence wished everyone a happy Easter holiday. Minute number 8, awards. Category number 1, best in credit management, given to urban and semi-urban groups. Urban group, St. Francis Kasarani. Semi-urban, Gesharani Self-Help Group. Award was presented by Mr. Dominic Simba, Director, Caritas Microfinance Bank. Category number 2, best group in member mobilization and recruitment. This was awarded to Holy Cross Dandora. Award was presented by Sister Modesta Karori, Deputy Director, Admin, Caritas Nairobi. Award, category number 3, best individual member in mobilization, in member mobilization. This one was given to Mr. Richard Ndolo, and the award was presented by Sister Modesta Karori. The third category was self-help management of the year. This one was presented to Mr. Joseph Wamboi of St. Matia Mulumba and Mrs. Jane Gadhimba of Umoja. Lastly, to Mr. Kenneth Shege Waithaka, both for the man, lady, and the youth. And also there was one which was given to Mr. Francis Motegi under that category of St. Catherine of Siena. This award was presented by Mr. Deuri Moshiri, the acting CEO, Caritas Microfinance Bank. Most improved, the other category, most improved self-help group. This one was given to Muringa Huruma Self-Help Group, and the award was presented by Mr. Deuri Moshiri, the acting CEO, Caritas Microfinance Bank. The other category was best managed zone. This one was given to Eastern Zone, and the award was presented by Mr. Deuri Moshiri, acting CEO, Caritas Microfinance Bank. The other category was zone rep, zone representative, and zone secretary of the year. And these awards were given to Mr. Peter Gashero, Central Zone, and Ms. Lillian Bosire from Central Zone. This award was presented by Mr. Michael Kiburi, Deputy Director, Programs, Caritas Nairobi. The other category was Best Self-Help Group in Innovation, especially on corporate image. This award was given to Gesharani Self-Help Group in Western Zone, and the award was presented by Mr. Bernard Ngoshi. The other category was Best Self-Help Group in HR Management. The award was given to St. Francis Kasarani, and the award was presented by Ms. Veronica Washira from the Advisory Board. The other category was Staff of the Year Award and in Caritas Nairobi. There were 3 categories. The first position was awarded to Ms. Evelyn Oiderero Mwangi, and it was presented by Sister Mary Mbashi. The second category, the second position was given to Lillian Wamware, and it was presented by Father Emmanuel Ngugi. And the third position was given to Mr. Ivan Kaboy, presented by Father Emmanuel Ngugi. The other category was on overall awards for self-help groups. The second runners-up was given to Gesharani Self-Help Group. The first runners-up was given to Dandora Catholic Church Self-Help Group. And the winners were St. Francis Kasarani Self-Help Group. This award was presented by His Eminence John Cardinal Njue, the Archbishop of Nairobi. Then there was one more last award, which was on category for award for policy development, and it was given to a number of individuals: James Kenyanjui, Bernard Ngoshi, David Ndongo, James Wanyangi, Joel Dingi, Alan Ngugi, Veronica Washira, Lawrence Kiogora, Moses Nyandusi, Sister Modesta Karori, Graham Soita, Michael Kiburi, Wanjala Nasimiu, and Eric Gishobi. Then there was one more last award from the Caritas Microfinance Bank, and the category was Most Supportive Group, St. Francis Kasarani, and the winners were St. Francis Ruiru Catholic Church Self-Help Group. Minute number 9, any other business? We only had one. Communication should be more efficient from the office. Lastly, minute number 10, adjournment. Vote of thanks were given by Francis Ben, Chairperson, Holy Family Basilica Self-Help Group, and the meeting ended at 2:55 p.m. with a word of prayer from Father Emmanuel Ngugi. Thank you.
I think Bernard was very clear. The language is simple. There are no typos. Because I was also going through with him. Therefore, he deserves a hand. Tumpigie makofi. Having said that, we need to confirm the minutes as true record by a proposer and a seconder, and then we proceed. Anybody is allowed to propose and second the minutes as a true record for those who participated in the last meeting. Please rise up, say your name and the zone you come from. John Matiro Kemunya from Limuru Zone proposed, seconded by, yes, a lady. This is good. Sala Edamo from Eastern Zone, eh? And Dabo. Yeah, your zone rep is putting it into perspective. Thank you very much. The minutes are proposed and seconded. As I had given direction, you note the areas probably you feel might want to be reacted upon after our deliberations, and be assured that they will be addressed. So that at this juncture, we go to presentation of statistical information, which will be done by Moses Nyadusi very fast.
Good morning. Yes, for the statistical information, we get it in page 11, from page 11.
There'll be a slight adjustment in your program. After the presentation of statistical information, thank you, Moses, for a while. We adjust accordingly because we understand various duties and responsibility. His Lordship will be attending some other functions after this. There has a request that we give a chance for him to make his address so that at least we can be able to release him. So, Sister Bashi, probably welcome, His Lordship.
So, God is good. At all the time, it is normal that sometimes we get urgent issues to handle, even when we had not planned for the same. So at this particular moment, we allow His Lordship, Bishop Kamau, to present his speech at the moment. Actually, we had invited him as the chief guest. So it would be unfair for him to step out to handle the urgent issue he is supposed to handle, and we failed to listen to his message. So I'm kindly requesting all of us to adjust a little bit. God is good at all the time. You are most welcome, Your Lordship, to present your speech.
So it's important that take care of yourselves, isn't it? Yeah, because you never know what's going to happen now. So I want to thank you for the understanding that there are so many things to be done. But I would have felt bad if I don't say hi to you because of what you are doing in the Archdiocese. Sawa fudu wa mitambo. I think a meeting like this is very, very important because it's only when we come together that we come to understand what we are doing. And then as we meet, we are filled with more energy and understanding that when we go out as leaders, we're able to tell the people that we represent So what I want to say is that, that this year's theme is inviting us to reflect on our current situation due to COVID-19 pandemic. And we think on strategies that can help us build sustainable economic empowerment activities for inclusive development, where we move as a community, leaving no one behind. The new strategy will be very, very important. We are meeting here during the tough times that have faced us since 2020, March, the time the first case of COVID-19 was reported in our country, and which continues to cause trouble and difficulties in the communities where we live. We have experienced different life that we were never used to before. And I can tell you, even in the church, the priests are going through hard times. You know, on Sundays, sometimes they are not counting anything, and they used to count. They are not counting. And then they are coming to the bishop. And this is why a group like this is important. So we have gone through lockdowns, curfews, closure of schools, and worse to us, the closure of the churches and loss of life, to the extent of losing some of our loved ones from our communities. The hard economic times we are going through cause us to rethink about our future, putting God first and putting our efforts together to support one another. Hence, call to adapt our today's theme. I mean, we cannot afford now to live from heart to mouth. We must think of the future. Especially, as I said, here in the church we are affected. Those who are depending on to and do, to and under, without thinking of the future, they're in trouble now. So, through the word of God, in 2 Thessalonians chapter 3, verse 13, we are advised, let us not grow weary of doing good, for in due season we will reap. If we do not give up, then you will see the fruits. This is a call to perseverance and continue doing what we are supposed to do, despite the difficulties we are going through, that we don't give up. We always say there is always hope for the living. As long as you are living, you know you have hope, in spite of all the difficulties. You know that God, you are living, God has given the path to live and the life so that you continue to do something for Him. So then, therefore, we need to accept our current reality. Second, we need to understand the difficulties the COVID-19 pandemic has brought into our lives, into our families. We need to develop a positive response on how to resolve some of the difficulties which we are going through and are able to resolve. And we need to execute the strategies we have developed together. Going forward, and for the community of our self-help group program, I wish to call upon all leaders to observe the following. Keep the vision of the program alive and not to commercialize the operation of this program. Let us try to go back to original vision. This time in the church, we are reading about the life of Christian communities. I know when Jesus rose from the dead, he was telling his disciples, I'm sure Bible, you are familiar with the Bible, go and tell my disciples, We shall meet where? In Galilee. Do you read something like that? We shall meet in Galilee. He was in Jerusalem, but he was telling them, we shall meet in Galilee. Now, from Jerusalem to Galilee, those are born to Israel, it's more than 200 kilometers. And Jesus is saying, we are going to meet there. What Jesus meant, let us go to where we started. Galilee is not that time. Galilee is not a place, but let us go back to where we started. So let us always keep where we started. The vision that was there from the beginning. The second, compliance to the program policies in order to safeguard members' resources. That avoid mixing our services with the secular institutions, even if they are making a lot of profits. We are not for profit making, but a service institution. We are giving a service to one another. That was the origin of the self-group, that we are giving a service to these people who are not able even to afford, who cannot afford even to educate their kids. So we give them service. And fourth, be keen on following policies while recruiting new staff to avoid introducing corrupt individuals, managing the operations of the groups at the parish level. In any community, we get people who are corrupt. In fact, today's reading, the first reading, Acts of Apostles, when St. Paul was saying farewell to his community, he said, I am going away now, but other people will come to your community to get you out of the group. I think you had mass, eh? I think there was something like that. I am going away. Paul tells the community, I am going away, but other people will come in to ruin what we have, what I have planted. And Jesus in the gospel is saying the same. I am going to the Father, I am going to leave you. But be careful. The devil will still follow you. So it's the same with our communities. Don't accept everybody because you know the person you are accepting. So be keen on following the policies while recruiting new staff to avoid introducing corrupt individuals, managing the operations of the groups at the parish level. Therefore, as leaders on the ground, we are called to be alert and to remain vigilant, to offer security to the funds entrusted to us by the members. We should lead by example and encourage others to do the same. From the second letter of Peter, second letter, chapter 1, 5-7, we are advised on the virtues of good leadership. As he says, for this reason, make every effort to supplement your faith with virtue, virtue with knowledge, knowledge with self-control, self-control with endurance, endurance with devotion, devotion with mutual affection with love. So, brothers and sisters, let us serve God and our group members with passion to humanity as this God's will at the moment. I continue to encourage you to reach out to those who have needs that require immediate support during this time. Let us learn and practice the Acts of Apostles, chapter 2, verses 44-47, that all who believed were together and all had things in common. They would sell their property and possessions and divide them among all according to each other's need. Every day, they devoted themselves to meeting together in the temple area and to breaking bread in their homes. And every day the Lord added to their number those who were being saved. This is the vision we inherited from the Son of God, Michael Morris Kanutunga, who had the people of God in his heart. Let us work together to keep this vision. We wish you all well as you continue to serve the people of God through this noble program. So I say, thank you very much, and God bless you. And let us work together.
So, thank you very much, Your Lordship, for those words of wisdom and direction to the self-help group leaders. While we also understand your schedule as a shepherd of the Archdiocese of Nairobi at the moment, and therefore we would be willing anytime. Okay, he has said that he's okay now, so he'll be. Thank you very much. Thank you. Asante sana. So one of the advisory board members, together with the sister, you'll see you up there. Aaron is well positioned, and then I think that is good. So now we come back to our program. Moses Nyadusi, where are you? You are not very far, so we proceed with the program.
Good afternoon. We start off the statistical information. You will realize from page 11 that we still have 194 groups. We compared to previous year where we had 192. It means we added 2 new groups this year. That is from Thika zone, we have St. Benedetta Ngoigwa. And from Limuru zone, we have Holy Spirit Makutano, that is in Tigio Parish. So we have 2 groups which joined the program. Despite the challenges that we had in the year, we managed to have 2 new groups. And in regards to membership, you will realize that the groups had registered a good recruitment. During the year, we recruited 20,433 members, which is a good start. And at the same time, when you check on the graph, that is on page 12, you will realize that the dormant membership, the graph almost flattened, because it means that most of the members who are dormant still remained dormant during that period. So we didn't reduce the number of dormants so much. And when you check on the active membership, still the graph is going up, which is a good sign. It means that still we have members who are joining us and who have trust and feel that this is the place to be, which is a good sign for the future of the program. When it comes to rounds, you will notice that during the year, the performing rounds went up. It means most of the people were coming for the rounds. That's why when you see that the rounds that were issued increased from 1.5 billion that was issued in the previous year, the current year was almost double, which is 2.5. It means most people had come for loans. Even the number of loans which was the loans issued almost doubled from 28,000 to 43,000 members who are issued with loans. That means people had come for funds, at least to assist them during the hard times they had during the year 2020. When it comes to saving, you will note that the change was not that much from 2019 to 2020, whereby in 2019, 2019, we had a total savings of 6.8 billion compared to 7.4 billion of 2020. The change was not as much as it happened in the previous year, where we had an increment of 1.1 billion compared to the current year, where we have 645 million. It means it dropped. People did not save much because of the situation that we were facing. And when it comes average per member savings, you will realize that we did perform well in this area. It means last year, there was an increment per member when we do an average of 6,000 shillings compared to 180 shillings that the increment we see in 2020. It means people, the members were not saving, but the number was going up. Most members were joining, but they were not saving that much. That is what it means. Even the graph, you can see from the graph, the average savings per member, it's almost flattening, meaning members are not saving during the year. When it comes to investment, since we didn't have much that was left for disposal for the investment, you will realize the curve again is almost flattening because there was no much surplus from the group side that was left for managers to save with us in the investment. The graph shows us that the investment were quite low compared from 4.3 billion to 4.6 billion, the increment. You can't compare it with the 3.6 to 4.3. It was quite higher in the previous year compared to the year 2020. When we compare the three, investment, loan, and saving, you can see how the graphs are behaving, that we didn't invest much, and at the same time, the loans try to go up. That makes the total savings remaining almost constant. That is going on a straight line. When it comes to active members versus dormant, the percentage went down, the dormant members, if you can recall the previous year. That is, now it's currently 16%, and we are working, we are putting on strategies to ensure that this percentage goes below 10% by next year, and we hope it will work and we can be able to manage the strategies that we are coming up. Performing versus non-performing loans, yes, it went up again. If you can recall, in the previous year, it was below 5%, the allowable percentage, but now it went to 6%. It means that we had a number of members who are not repaying the loans. If you can confirm from page 11, it will show you that the non-performing loan rose from 90 million to 184 million. That is an indication that a good number of our members were affected by the pandemic that we had and we have. So that's why the non-performing is behaving that way. It's going 6%, and we anticipate maybe it will go higher a bit, but later on, we are trying to come up with strategies to ensure we maintain it, we contain it, by advising our members on the way to manage the situation. And when it comes to now the total savings per zone, you can see from that graph, from the key that is provided, it's like a number of zones are omitted, but it's the printing error. It was complete, it's only the printing error, the number of zones that are omitted. But you can see the topmost with the 23% is Eastern Zone, followed closely by Thika Zone, 20%. Then Ruaraka Zone, 13%. And we have Western and the Lower Kiambu, number 4, that is by 9%. Number 5, we have number 6, because Western and Lower Kiambu is number 4. Number 6, we have Mang Zone, 8%. Number 7, we have Rimuru Zone with 7%. And number 8, we have Nairobi Central with 6%. Number 9, we have Gatito, Kiganjo, and Upper Kiambu with 2% each. Number 11, we have Gatondo with 1%, and finally Kawe, which is below 1%. That is the total savings per zone when we attribute the 7.4 billion total saving to all the zones around, to all the zones within the Archdiocese of Nairobi. And that is the end. Thank you for listening to me.
Thank you very much, Moses. I think we all understand the importance of figures. People who deal with the science of numbers say figures don't lie. They are also informative. They inform us about how we are performing, the threads of the time, and therefore they are put here purposely so that we are able to compare ourselves and we are able to speak to ourselves through those figures. Therefore, it is for you to scrutinize your zone and also your individual group, the performance of the year. So thank you very much, Moses. I think that's a good task. And thank you for all the groups which responded to forward those figures. From there now, we continue with our program. We are now in our program number 6, the director's speech. So I will come back, Sister Bachi, for that task. Thank you.
I'm always reminded that my height has an issue, but I accept it the way it is. Okay. Before I start presenting my speech, I want to acknowledge the presence of His Eminence, John Cardinal Joe, the Archbishop of Nairobi Emeritus. Let us appreciate him for getting time to be with us today. You're most welcome, Your Eminence. In absentia, His Lordship Bishop David Kamau, the Apostolic Administrator of the Archdiocese of Nairobi. We have the Server Program Advisory Board members present. We have the leaders of the Server Program groups. We have also the technical office from Caritas Nairobi represented here. We have our invited guests. We have the CEO, Caritas Microfinance Bank, and his team. You're most welcome. And to all leaders who are here physically and those who are following us through the virtual platform. It gives me pleasure to welcome all of you to our 29th Leaders Annual General Meeting, where we are celebrating not only our achievements for the year 2020, but also our existence for the last 38 years. Allow me to present my speech as it is, written, because we are also advised to take care of the time. Yes. Yeah. A day like this, it becomes very important for us to have the opportunity to connect with all our stakeholders for the Server Program that we are running for the last 38 years. We have an opportunity to evaluate the progress and in the realization of our vision that aims at ensuring successful continuity of our program for the socio-economic empowerment to all our people. I thank you all for joining us today, both physically and virtually. Your support and presence here today and during this meeting is a good indication of the steps that we are taking together and making sure that we are taking our program in the right direction. This is an indication also of our well-wish that we want to continue giving the service that God has requested us to give through his people. This year's theme, like I mentioned at the beginning of our meeting, is developing resilience for continued economic empowerment. Why are we talking about resilience at this moment? It is because we want to embrace the process of adapting well in the face of difficulties and stress that we are going through, having been brought by the COVID-19 pandemic. This theme was carefully selected by Caritas Nairobi Advisory Board for the Server Program with the input from our technical team. And it is based on the year under the review as well as the current year that we have started. We appreciate the efforts each one of us has put together in ensuring the continuity of our operations and service to members amidst many challenges facing us at the moment. We all share advice from the book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 4, that is line 7 to 9, that even if challenges come our way, God always gives us strength to endure and move forward. This has given us, as the program, hope as the program, hope that we can stand the test of time we are going through if we remain united in our evangelization and through the services we are offering. Caritas Nairobi Self-Help Program is known in the Archdiocese of Nairobi, or within the Archdiocese of Nairobi, that takes care of our members within Nairobi and Kiambu counties. And apart from being known within the Archdiocese of Nairobi jurisdiction, it is also a program that is well appreciated in other dioceses. No wonder that is why we extended our service to support the dioceses of Kakamega and Nyeri at the moment. And we had even gone out of Kenya to support the diocese of Tombo-Yambio in southern Sudan. We appreciate the good reputation, and together we continue improving it with our 5 key strategic objectives that we must fulfill in our new strategic plan. First, we want to work on increment or the expansion of the membership with 15,000 annually. Secondly, we want to work on 10% annual enhancement in savings, mobilization, and loan uptake. The third objective we want to continue entrepreneurial capacity building to all the leaders and to all the members. Fourth, we want to give back to our community through corporate social investment activities. And the last one, we are working on 100% compliance to our policies, legal and self-regulatory framework. It is important for us as a program to progressively achieve this with not only the same passion and purpose that the servant of God, Cardinal Morris Michael Otunga, championed when he established the self-help program that 8 years ago, but also to add our own contribution at our own capacity. To do that, we needed to review our practices to establish a refocused approach that reflected the ever-changing needs of today's socio-economic empowerment environment. Through the new audit approach we have embraced, policy development and improved capacity building approach. Also, we want to establish a renewed presence to command the international stage through corporate social investment interventions, branding, and visibility. And at the same time, we work on our ICT integration. And also, we want to establish a rejuvenated purpose that would inspire our clients, our staff, and the community at large to push for more through our strategic plan. This review came at the perfect time and allowed us to define a clear baseline to capitalize on the opportunity to enter our 8th year of existence of this program when we are refreshed and re-energized. Allow me at the moment, leaders, to look at the 2020 program achievements. I start by audit. During the year 2020, we were able to complete 163 annual audits conducted in different zones. From Eastern Zone, we are able to do 23. From Gatito Kiganjo Zone, 10. From Thika Zone, 10. From Central Zone, 12. From Gatundo, Zone 7. From Kagwe, Zone 4. From Lemuru, 18. From Noakiabu, 12. From Mangu, 19. From Rualaka, 15. From Upper Kiabu, 11. And from Western Zone, 22. All of these audits were followed by comprehensive reports. The audit department also introduced what we are calling continuous audits, where we managed to audit 41 groups. 10 are from Mang Zone, 1 from Gatito Kiganjo, 6 from Eastern Zone, 5 from Ruakiabu, 2 from Gatondo, 5 from Ruaraka, 3 from Western, 2 from Thika, and 2 from Central Zone, and there was also another one from Upper Kiabu Zone. So far, under the audit department, we have managed to conduct over 100 audits for the year 2021. And we are continuing to work on the same, where 70 groups have so far been given a go-ahead to distribute surplus to members and conduct what we are calling the virtual AGMs. Our target is to cover 150 groups by the end of the second quarter of 2021 and commence the continuous audits in the third quarter of this year. On capacity building, the Caritas Nairobi Economic Empowerment Capacity Building team has largely been affected by the COVID pandemic in terms of their performance. We had already put together the plans for capacity building in 2020, but unfortunately we could not be able to do that. Traditionally, the department has been relying heavily on physical engagement, but with the prevailing COVID-19 situation, this has not been possible. The department had to move with the changing trends of the new normal and explored other training platforms, including video conferencing and virtual meeting platforms. The department, notwithstanding all the prevailing challenges, managed to train 320 leaders, 523 general groups membership, and 104 self-help group staff members through physical and virtual platforms, respectively. Other achievements under capacity building included formulation of strategic plans for 4 self-help groups, 3 promotional activities, and development of marketing and leadership modules. The program is capitalizing on virtual platforms to be able to reach out to the larger following of groups. Hence, there will be organized trainings on the use of the virtual platforms across the program so as to enhance the skill and video conferencing as well as virtual meeting platforms among leaders and the general members. On ICT, there are 3 areas that we worked on. There is the membership cards. There is the system we are using, that is ICT system, Looks 363 upgrade, and also the automation of some of our self-help groups. We undertook printing and distribution of membership cards, and the progress has been welcoming. We have received tremendous response from the self-help groups who have all the required membership details, including members' photos. We are requesting more self-help groups to embrace this change for us to harmonize our identity. The cost of printing the cards is Kenyan shillings 120, and the self-help groups shall then charge the members an amount not exceeding 150 shillings. To request for these cards from the technical office, one, your self-help group is required to be automated with our system, that is Lux 360. Your member details need to be satisfactorily up to date and have passport photos of members in the right format, as requested. On our ICT system, that is Lux 360 upgrade, we successfully upgraded our system by 2nd of April this year. This was phase 1 of the upgrade, where we migrated all operations as they were in the new system. The next phase will be enhancing the system to include all the requirements you shared with us as being necessary for the program to achieve its objective. These include mobile app, members portal, M-Pesa integration, Caritas microfinance bank integration, and also our integration with CRB. We appreciate the challenges that came with the migration that is usually expected when achieved or an upgrade is being done. We are, however, working to address those challenges in order to achieve the intended objectives. We urge you leaders to embrace the new features as we also commit to provide the required technical support. On automation of the self-help groups, as at close of the year 2020, the program had 106 self-help groups using our system Lux 360. We continue encouraging the remaining self-help groups who are still relying on the manual records and other accounting and the core banking systems to embrace the new system as their preferred management system. When we move together, all the groups in the program using the same system, from the technical office will be able to give you the needed service. So we are encouraging all of us leaders to make sure that we embrace the new system. Working during the COVID-19 challenges and the way forward. Last year's RAGUM, that is Leaders in Annual General Meeting, was held amid a lot of tension since it had been rumored by that time that from within, we had recorded the first case of COVID-19. And the government had banned all the social gatherings within the country. However, we managed to pull through and held a very successive meeting. And if you remember, it was immediately after our AGM that things started getting difficult. But we thank God that we are able to to do our meeting before the closure that followed after that. In 2020, we note that it was not an easy year, and neither this year. Looking at ourselves, those who are gathered here, we note that we are not even a quarter of the number of the leaders who normally attend to our AGMs. But we are thanking God that we are still safe. We are able to come physically, and we also extend the same appreciation to those who are following us virtually. Due to COVID pandemic, we have continued to go through challenges, and those challenges are affecting the performance of our program, whereby due to hard economic times, there are those who have lost their businesses. There are those who have even lost their lives. But what we are saying is that through the theme we are promoting this year, we are saying that we can be able to work together, and we continue giving the service up to our capacity and where the environment allows us to do. But we should not deny the services to the members, to our groups. We would also like to reassure you leaders that as an organization, we are resilient, and over the course of the last 38 years, we have seen and mastered many challenging moments, and we are convinced that we will be able to overcome this one too. We urge all the leaders to continue assessing the situation and the trend changes, and together we progressively develop strategies that will stand the test of this time. And we are saying that we need to be vigilant on risk management, even as we continue meeting members' expectations from the program. As leaders, your effort will make a huge difference to our program and to our society today. We would like to recognize in particular all the management members physically and virtually present and the Caritas Nairobi technical team. Your commitment and your discipline are critical at this time to maintain business continuity. It is our priority to support you in this important endeavor. And to overcome this unique challenge we are encountering today, we request all of you to stay focused on the following 3 priorities. 1, the safety. Work on the safety of all of us, which is paramount. We can only make positive contributions and live our purpose and values if we stay healthy and avoid spreading the virus. Let us take care of our safety. Let us take care of each other. Secondly, we need to work on business continuity, which is key for us. We need to focus our efforts on making our services accessible to all members without compromising their safety. 3, we are invited to extend a helping hand to the communities around us through our corporate social investment activities. The interventions, however, need to be need-focused and in areas where no allocations may have been made by other organizations. Let us avoid taking our CSI interventions where mostly they are budget provisions for that. We are advising that let us focus more on the church institutions and other needy areas that we are needed at the community level. the community-based interventions. Let us not duplicate what has been done already. Let us do proper analysis and assessment before we commit the members' money for these activities. This year's theme will serve as a reminder for all of us to always adapt the ever-changing socio-economic and legal environment to continue as leaders in our field and to empower the clients we hold dear to our hearts and to inspire the communities near and far to not only accept but also to embrace our self-help program. We are saying yes, it is about the success we have realized as a program, the synergy we have found within our self-help program, the barriers we have knocked down, and this is with the help of God, and the opportunities we have built up together. But more than that, this is about the success that we have witnessed in the lives of our self-help groups members and their families. The tears of joy, their smiling faces, and the stories of how their lives have changed forever. To finish, we are saying that resilience is important because it gives people, and these people, we are there, the strength needed to process and overcome hardship. Those lacking resilience get easily overwhelmed and may turn to unhealthy coping mechanisms. Resilient people tap into their strengths and support systems to overcome challenges and work through problems. And this is what we are called to be. May God bless us as we continue giving the service of leadership to our people. Thank you very much.
Thank you. It is quite comprehensive. Of course, as a director, that is the heart of the program. Her speech is the heart of the program, covering all the areas that were done over the year. So thank you very much, sister. Can I request that we start a bit? Tusimame kidogo. You know, oxygen has now become a rivalry resource. You can stretch, yes. You can stretch a bit. You can breathe in oxygen so that at least your brain is relaxed to listen to the next session. Yes, we don't have a lot of time. We can get seated. Thank you. Now, to go to the audited financial report. Najua wakati wa mahesabu kwanza saa 8 ikienda kufika. It's not a very palatable topic, but I know the auditors have mastered the art of presentation so that it becomes palatable and enticing to the people. Therefore, I welcome Kegodo and company for the presentation of financial reports. Please come forward.
Your Eminence, the Director Caritas, board members, members of the program, good afternoon. I'm sure it's tiring, but I will not tire you beyond that time. My name is James Mwaura from the firm of Keoda and Company, and I want to take the opportunity to thank you very sincerely for giving the opportunity to be your auditors. We don't take it for granted. We know it's a favor from you, and we try to do the best we can so that we don't fall down in our responsibility. Our report starts from page number 16, but you go straight to page number 18. We not spend time on that page very much. It's a question of looking at those information That's called the organizational information. Look at the board members, board of management, the committee, whether the names are properly recorded or if any typing error. If you are satisfied, there's no typing error, we can go to page number 19. We don't take too much there. We only say it's called the respective responsibility of the board of directors. The import of that page is that these accounts are prepared by the board. Ours is to carry a normal audit, which will enable us to express an opinion. We can skip page number 20. We go to page number 21 of that report, which is called the Statement of Comprehensive Income for the year ended 31st December 2020. One thing which is notable is that your income grew from 56 million to 67 million, to 68 million. I grew about 11 million. Despite the COVID-19, your income grew, and there were reasons for that. Allow me to take page number 27 to see the component of that income. Page number 27 to see the component of that report, of that income. Page number 27, will not take too much time on it. It is the first item called page note number 3, program income. You note that your income grew in 3 areas. The tithe, which grew from 16 to 18. The investment income from 25 to 31. And the Caritas and fee from 3 period to 14 million. What they're saying is that the investment income itself contributed that 47% of the total revenue. So that 1 million, if you expect that, if you express as a percentage of 67, is 47. What it says, your investments are generating revenue. Despite the COVID-19, it was still growing. And if you thank God for that, that the management, the board of management have been investing your income properly. The rest are minor increases, but those are the main things that have already contributed to that 11 million growth in your revenue. Let's go back to page number 21. Number 21, and we see the expenditure. The expenditure grew very marginally, increased very marginally from 55 to 56, about 800 or 400,000. Simply means when your revenue was going up, your expenses were controlled. And that's why we have been able to make a surplus of 11 million, 11.5, from compared to 871 in 2019. That's a growth, that's a high growth, and always because the mid expenses have been controlled, except for the salaries that went up from 36 to 38, the rest were down. Of course, you find that some like capacity building, which a sister has already alluded, was not taken care, it was not take place. That's why it went down from 5.6 million to 2.8 million. So because of that, the rest is a question of how you appropriated that. One thing which is clear, because of strategic growth, you have created another item called strategic revenue to sustain the program. When you make that reserve, you are sustaining your program. So that when you come in for any growth, it's already taken care of by that appropriation. Are we together? Now you look at that. If there's any question you have, you can look at that. But you can go to page number 28 to see those expenses, how they are. To see those expenses. Page number 28. And they are not made. They are very minor increases here and there. They are from page number 7, note number 7 down to note number 11. Those are minor increases in the revenue. They are normal, nothing out of the ordinary. And with that, if you have any question, you can put a question on any of those expenses. We'll be able to explain how it occurred. Allow me that to take page number 22 of that report. Page number 22. Page number 22 of that report. It is called the Statement of Financial Possession as at 1st December 2020. It is nothing but your assets and your liabilities. And your main assets are two: long-term investment and short-term investment. So all you are saying, it's all that your assets are mainly investment, which is very good. And they have grown, your total assets have grown from 4.7 million to 5.5, about a growth of about 780 million. And we can say All those assets are financed by you people, by your own savings. And we can see how you have financed those by going to page number 20, I think page number 29. Page number 29, you can see how you have financed your, no, page number 30, page number 30. You can see how you have financed your assets. Page number that, note number 20. Go to page number 20, you see something called group investments. Those are what you have invested yourself, and those are the ones that you have already been able to invest in those short-term and long-term investment. So nothing has come from outside. What we are saying, in a simple way, your assets are secure. There is very little disconnect. Nobody can come out from outside and demand it from you. All your assets are within yourself. That's a good mode of operations. Meanwhile, if they borrow money to invest, yours are within yourself. And that's a good price for yourself. And that is a summary of your financial report. The rest is a question of any clarification you want us to clarify from there. And thank you very much for listening to me.
Thank you, Makofi, to Kigodo and company. I thought they have mastered the way to summarize and, of course, make the accounts enticing. So, for the accounts to be ours, that report, we need to adopt by a proposal in a second, like we did in the minutes. Yes. David Carrier, from which group? St. Joseph. Oh, okay, propose. Can we have a seconder?
John Onsombi from St. Francis Kasarani.
Okay, thank you very much. That is very clear. I think that is adopted, and I'm hoping you are still noting the areas of concern that you would like to raise after this, so that now we go straight to the presentation of the budget. But before then, because the program is reading one, I want to seek your indulgence for an extension of about 30 minutes by asking this. As of many of similar opinions say aye, contrary opinions say nay, so the ayes have it. So I seek that minute so that we finalize the program. Can we now have the presentation of the budget, please?
His Eminence Cardinal John Jue, our Director, Sister Mary Mbashi, all protocols observed. I'm going to present to you the budget for the year 2021. I know we have the booklet, and it's on page number 31. The budget basically indicates our expectation within the year in regards to our income and expenditures. Having had the presentation of the financial statement, clear that we are on an plan to mean that our operation within the year are on a continuous basis. So the budget for the year, in regards to the income, we are proposing to get an income of 79.5 million. This is a growth of 5%. It's a growth of 5% from the previous year, where we received an income of 67.9 million. That is indicated in page number 22, page number 32, where we are able to see the composition of the projected income within the year 2021. You notice that 2020 was really not so much of a good year. And I think you have seen that even from the statistical information, where the number of non-performing loans have been able to increase. And that is also why we are saying that even our budget within the year, we are really not indicating quite a huge growth, only an amount of 5%. And within the year, the main items that are going to grow, we are looking at is the tithe, which forms a good composition of our incomes at 18 million, against 18.1 million in the year 2020. The other item is on the investment income, where within the year we are proposing to raise an amount of 35 million, a growth from 31.7 million. And the reason we are saying this is because despite the conditions, our investments are growing. So also within the year, we expect that our income is going to grow. In regards to the Caritas admin fee, we are proposing to raise an amount of 14 million to support our operations. In total, our budget is 71.95 million. Back to page number 31, we look at our expenditures. Within the year, we are proposing our expenditure budget at 71.1 million. Quite a huge growth when you compare with the year 2020. And the reason for this is that we were really not able to implement quite a number of activities within the year 2020. And this year, year 2021, we are really hoping you can be able to have these activities ongoing. And that the main activity is actually on capacity building. So when you look at our expenses within the year, you will see that our office expenses are going to increase from an amount of 700,000 to 1.2 million. And this is to support our staff members as they are conducting the operation, both in the two offices, the head office and also the rural office. We also have another vote head in regards to governance. You notice that we do have an advisory board, and we want to make sure that they are able to govern the self-help groups in a way that indicates growth. So we have increased that from 566,000 within the year 2020 to 1.7. Another notable expenditure is on the staff cost, from 38.9 million to 42 million. And this is basically general increases within the year in regards to inflation as we take up the medical cover. The notes to it is actually indicated in page number 33 on the staff cost. You notice that in the year 2020, we were not able to capacity build our staff members. This particular year, I think the strategies have already been established by the professional bodies and also by the facilitators, and we aim that we are going to spend an amount of 3.7 million to train our staff members and empower them. Salaries are 34 million, and medical expenses are 3.5 million, to give us a total of 42 million. Another notable expenditure is on capacity building, where we expect to spend an amount of 6.4 million. On note number 11, page number 33, it's also indicated how we are going to spend that particular amount. And you notice a lot of this amount is actually going back to our self-help group to build the capacity of our members, to build the capacity of the management team. And on it, we have our zonal meetings. We have the trainings and workshop, that is for the management teams. We have the leaders annual general meeting. We are also going to incur several capital expenditures. And this is basically to increase the efficiency of our operations for the auditors and also the coordinating office. And among it, we're looking at the laptops. We're going to buy a few laptops to cost an amount of 360,000. We are also going to buy equipment to facilitate the online training, the audio-visual virtual training gadgets with a budget of 500,000. Within the year, we also plan that we are going to develop a system that is going to manage the workflow and keep the database for all the groups within the Archdiocese of Nairobi, an amount of 2 million. We are also looking at finishing on the office restructuring at rural office, and we are hoping that in the amount of 700,000, that office will be as good as new. And that is our budget for the year 2021. Thank you.
Thank you, Makofi kwa Ann. Thank you very much. Again, we need to adopt the budget by proposer and a seconder. Maybe backbenchers are quite quiet. Backbenchers. Yes, at the corner there. Julius who? Okay. Can the secretary hear? Tiberius Omboto. Oh, Omboto. From which group? Donholm, eh? Maybe a lady to second. A lady, please. One day. Yes.
Ms. Gatti, St. Joseph's, Jericho.
Thank you. Budget adopted. I think you're making notes in case you have any question. Before we go for another session, we have a guest with us who I'll ask Sister Bashi to introduce from Microfinance Bank, and then we go to another session, please.
At this moment, I wish to welcome our CEO, Mr. David Mukaru, from Caritas Microfinance Bank, to come and share with us about the performance of our bank. We know very well that this is an institution that has been supported, or the establishment of Caritas Microfinance Bank has been established with us, with the support from our groups, 50%. So we would be happy to hear what the bank is bringing to us as leaders and also to the members of our groups. David Mukaro, you are most welcome. You can also take a few minutes to introduce the team you have come up with and come and address us. Thank you.
Thank you, sister. Your Eminence, board members, leaders, my fellow leaders, good afternoon. God is good, and all the time. First and foremost is to just say I am delighted to stand in front of you here. And if you may allow, so that when we meet out there, you can recognize the face, because we've not met before. So I'll make sure I keep the 1.5 meters distance as I speak, and that you can be able to really understand each other and know each other. My name is David Mukaru. I'm the new CEO of Caritas Microfinance Bank, and I am really, really thankful for this opportunity that you have given, because you are the 50% owners of this bank. I want to recognize all the leaders here for putting together this institution. Just before I move on, I just want to say we are a big family, because we are also part and parcel of Caritas as a family. And I want to introduce my team, which is seated behind here, and there are some who are seated next to you there, so that you can see we are together. So the team, please you stand up. That is you want to say your name? Yeah? That's Ambrose. It's okay. That's Ambrose. Ambrose is in charge of agency. For those who have agencies on the ground, you have interacted with him. We have Dennis. Dennis, you know him. He was your son for many years, even before the bank came into being, and you donated him graciously to this bank. Dennis is still with us, growing strong and growing with the bank, and is now in charge of the business development. Sister Pamba, you've seen him in your parishes, is in charge of our institutional banking, which is taking care of the church, our Catholic Church, together with the rest of the churches that we are dealing with. Before I talk about the bank, let me just briefly introduce myself. Like Sister had said, I've been in banking world for the last 28 years. Worked here in Kenya, various institutions. The last two institutions, one was Equity Bank for 12 years, 6 years in Kenya and 6 years in Tanzania. Then worked for Faulu for another 3 years. So in total, I've been in microfinance for the last 20. This is my 29th year, to be precise. So I am delighted to be back home from where I was, to just be able to share my skills with this dear microfinance bank that belongs to my church. I am a Catholic. I am a leader. I take leadership at Ongata Rongai, Our Lady of Fatima, where I am the moderator for the last 3 years. And I'm also a board member of Our Lady of Fatima Mission Hospital. So we are together. We are together in this. We know each other. My chairman behind here, is my chairman in the Eastern Zone. Why I'm saying that is because I was born and brought up in Kariobangi. And Korogosho there, my local church was St. John's, to be precise. Before it was a small muddy church at the outstation of Holy Trinity Church. So that's where I was born and brought up. That is where I was born and brought up. So we are together in this, and I want to assure you that you are in good hands when it comes to microfinancing and what we want to do. Caritas is still young. I say young because when you compare it with this structure that you have, it was born 38 years ago as a structure, self-help group. And I really want to congratulate Sister together with the rest of the team for a good job that you've been able to do. Raising 7.5 billion in the last 38 years is not a small joke. There are many banks that were started that fell during that time. You remember rural, urban, continental, there are many. They were formed and they fell and they died. But this structure has been standing, has been growing strong, and has been changing the people's lives. And to that extent, I really want to say that that is a great achievement. Giving birth to Caritas Microfinance Bank was also another great achievement. And 2015, when you decided we need a microfinance bank, and you said this one is our own flesh and blood, and you said you want to form it so that it can give you good services, so that it can grow you as a people, as a self-help group. You said in your document that you want to get upskilled financial services. So you had great ambitions. You had great ambitions, and you truly have done a good job so far. I can assure you, over the last 6 years, the bank has grown very well. And it's moving in the right direction. So allow me to just move on in terms of numbers a little bit. I'll make them as easy as possible, so that now we speaking the same language. In terms of deposits, loan deposits, a bank must be able to mobilize deposits for it to continue growing. We've been able to mobilize up to the end of last year about 2 billion in terms of deposit, and that's in the last 5 years. Remember, Caritas Self-Help Group has been there in the last how many years? 38 years. This is 5 years now. We're talking about 6 years. And your child, your son, through your support, you've been able to grow that structure to a tune of 2 billion. So really, really appreciate, and I know you have worked very, very hard to ensure that this bank grows. In terms of loans, by the end of last year, we had loans worth 1.4 billion, outstanding. 1.4 billion. That was a great achievement when you consider when it started, it only had about 140 million Kenya shillings in 2016. That grew to 1.4 billion in terms of loans. And in terms of the asset book, what you can consider as your assets. 2016, it grew from 574 million to 2.3 billion. So your wealth is actually growing. The investment you put in there of 610 million is actually growing very well and growing in a very positive way. When you look at what we call PBT, or profit before tax, you remember you've been given this information over the last 6 years. This bank had been making losses the last 5 years of existence. 2020, we finally broke even and made a profit of 5 million. Please clap for these people. Yeah? I want to tell you a story because I worked for Equity Bank. Equity Bank, by 1993, they had made a loss of 33 million. Those who remember the history of the bank, they had made a loss of 33 million shillings. And they had been formed in 1984. 1984. By 1993, they had made a loss of 33 million. 1984 to 93, those are how many years? 9 years. 9 years they were still making losses. And they did not even make a profit in 93, 94. 95 is when they started making profit. Because I know you have accounts there, some of you work there or have worked there. This is information that is in the public domain. So it took them more than 9 years to start making a profit. This bank, so that you can contextualize and see where we are heading, this bank in less than 6 years has already made a profit. And that's why I asked you to clap for them. Please clap for them properly now. We are glad we are moving in that direction, and we assure you it will grow in a very positive way. So far, they have opened 6 branches in the Diocese of Nairobi, and they have one marketing unit, which is sitting at Karen, the hub, which is also owned by the Catholic Church. We have about 8 staff. These are our children who got jobs and are growing very well. And we also have brought in number of accounts, a whole 28,000 accounts. Now, because I have very few minutes to be able to put my case across, one of the things that when you look at what we were supposed to achieve, because we had a strategic plan which was done by the team seated in front of you here, and they said in the next 5 years, from 2016 to 2020, we had a target. And I want to just pick one target, which I will speak to, and I'll be able now to come back to you. One of the targets was that we were supposed to grow number of accounts from where it was in zero, because it had not been born. We were supposed to recruit 540,000 new accounts. 540,000 accounts. How many did we bring on board? 28,000 accounts. What percentage is that? 5%. What was the assumption for those accounts to be brought in? The assumption was that 100% of all the self-help group members would open an account with Caritas Microfinance Bank. And on top of that 100, on top of all the members 100%, they were also supposed to bring in 3 members of their family. And they counted Baba, Mama, na watoto wawili. And that is how 540,000 accounts were reached. You'll ask, how did you arrive at 540,000? It was very simple arithmetic. And the leaders here had a very simple and clear roadmap to achieve 540. Baba, Mama, na watoto tuhesabu tena. Baba, Mama, na watoto wawili. Ama kama watoto hawako, majirani wawili. Yeah? Yeah? He's saying close relatives. So that was the initial thinking, and it is still there. And that is the challenge that we need to, as leaders are sitting here, we really need to ask ourselves, how do we actualize that? If it didn't happen, how will it happen? What is my role in this, and what do we need to do? And I will come to you, and I will invite you, and we discuss, and we ask ourselves, how do we go in that direction? Now, we now have a strategic plan number 2. Number 1 ended in 2020, and now we have number 2, which started in 2021 and will end in 2025. What does the strategic plan 2021-2025 say for us? And it is very ambitious because, again, the board members here, led by your team, sat down and said, 1, we must grow our deposits from 1.9 billion to 15 billion by 2025. 1.9 billion, which is about 2 billion to 15 billion. Those deposits will be achieved if we move in the right direction. Grow the loan book. Those are loans that come to you and your neighbors and your family from 1.4 billion to 11 billion. then grow the assets. The assets now, this is the juicy part for you. Yeah, grow the assets from 2.3 billion to 20 billion. 2.3 billion to 20 billion. So you can imagine what will happen to your share, the share that you have, what it will be worth, because that's how investors now start calculating in terms of what is in it for me. When it grows to 20 billion, what will I get out of it? In terms of profits, what we call PBT, we will grow from where we left in 2020, or 5 million per year, to an average of about by 2025, we will have made 1.5 billion in terms of profit for you, and this is the increase in terms of wealth. This is what you will be taking to the bank as you progress and as you grow your book. In terms of what will we do on the ground, how will we achieve these numbers that I have given you? In terms of number of accounts, from 28,000 accounts, we anticipate to grow those accounts to 1.1 million accounts. Now you can see, kazi imeongezeka kwa viongozi wa self-help group. Initially we were saying ni mama, baba na watoto wawili, ama na majirani wawili. Now we have to grow it how many times? From 28 to 1.1 million is how many times? Now, it is mama, baba na watoto na majirani wengine kama 20. We now need to really go out there and do much more for this bank, because it is your bank. In terms of number of outlets, we will support you, we will come to you, we will grow them from 7 to 28. 7 to 28. So even in your deaneries, you'll find many deaneries will get new branches in the next 5 years. Many of the dioceses, the archdioceses, all of them will have large branches like the one we have here in this compound. So we will be spread out across the country so that we achieve the 1.1 million. In terms of capital requirement, we will grow our capital requirement from 700, which is what had been approved, to 1.5 billion. In terms of capital. So I'll come back to you again, my dear members, and ask you to give me an extra 800 for me to be able to really grow this bank and give you the value and the wealth that you have been asking for, and for me to upscale the services that you really want. We will come back and ask you to give us 800 million more. But we assure you that that will be worth it. That will be worth it because it will be multiplied more than 10 times. In terms of Caritas agents, we will open various agents in the various locations from 60, which is where we are, to 520 agents. So the question is, does your self-help group have an agent? Because we have increased the service provision, we have improved the agency, and we now are asking, does your group have? Do you, as a business person, have a Caritas agent that you're actually utilizing? So we'll come back to you and really deal with that. And eventually, a number of staff will grow from 80 to 650 staff. These are your sons. These are your brothers, your sisters, who will get jobs here. From 80 to 650. So you can imagine the multiplier effect of the birth that was done from Kerico Parish. Not just the groups themselves, but the bank that is also increasing in terms of value and in terms of increasing employment in this country. Just as I wind up, just allow me to move very fast, because Sister had told me I only have 10 minutes. Let me just move on. One, in terms of, we need to grow together. And we've looked at the groups, we've looked at the whole program, and we've asked ourselves, how do we enhance the relationship? How do we grow together? What are the areas we are focusing on, and we need your support? Number one, in terms of the Caritas Self-Help Group program, we are looking at product development. We want to develop products that speak to you. And already a team has been formed between Caritas Nairobi and Caritas Microfinance Bank. And this team is supposed to give us a report on 2nd of next month on what products. Ni product zipi, ni bidhaa zipi za kifedha ambazo mnahitaji na mtapata. How do we treat you in a special way? Because you are the parent and you took this child to school and you are the one who spent sleepless nights taking care of this child called Caritas Microfinance Bank. How do you benefit out of that bank? What products do you get as a self-help group member? Number 2 is we will also integrate. We are going through an integration process between Caritas Microfinance Bank and Caritas Nairobi, so that the account you open at Caritas Bank, the transaction you open and you do, when you are seated in your house, you can be able to log in and do a straight-through transaction into your self-help group and into the Caritas account in Caritas Microfinance Bank, and vice versa. That the self-help group can be able to do a straight-through transaction into your account directly from where they are seated in the office. That will make work easy for you. You will access your financials anywhere you go. Even if you go to America to visit your child, to visit your son, your brother, your sister, you will still continue contributing to the group directly from your account where you are seated. Number 3, as far as the Caritas Self-Help Group is concerned, we want to strengthen the agency itself. The Caritas agency that you have and which we are talking about increasing from 60 to 520. So that agency will be able to assist you instead of you going very, very far. You can be able to use that agency and also be able now to transact the pay bill of the church or your local church or anywhere else. You can be able now to use that agency very well. For the members themselves, the self-help group members, we are looking at giving you an enhanced asset finance, plot purchase, mortgage and plot development, and also the self-help groups that feel that you need to get a bigger loan will refer you to the bank so that you can get a special rate based on your performance in the self-help group. We are now coming up with a product that will look at your performance in the group and getting a good and a special rate as far as Caritas Microfinance Bank is concerned. So you must maintain, and you must tell your members to maintain discipline in terms of loan repayment and in terms of participation at group level. Because when you refer them to the bank, they'll be given good and considerable rates based on the performance that they have at the group level. Then we're also targeting the agribusiness, people from where I come from in Kamushege, Kagu area. We are saying we have a product for you in terms of dairy, and people from Limuru will have a product for you in terms of agribusiness, and we'll work with you very, very closely with what Sister is doing and Kiburi is doing on the other side to be able to provide financial ecosystem for the dairy, for the agribusiness. We are also targeting the youth. In the next 6 months, we are coming up with a youth program that will be able to empower our youth. There is high unemployment. Sister is talking about resilience. How do we ensure that our youth bounce back into the community, into the society? So we're coming up with a product that is targeting the youth, targeting in terms of reducing unemployment and the job ratio, and we'll be able now to ensure that if they're in employment, we make it easier for them. If they're in business, we make it easier for them. They get business loans, considerable, extremely low interest loans to our youth, so that now we can also remove the burden from the parents, and we can ensure that our youth are growing in the right direction. We are also providing, working together very strongly to provide what we call financial education to all the group members going forward. Now, lastly, what support do I ask from you as leaders? Because if I don't say this, I'll be failing my duty. I have 7 requests from you. 7. Number 1, I'm asking for enhanced relationship with Caritas Microfinance Bank. Enhanced relationship. I just want you to feel that this is your bank and have a stronger relationship with them. If you have one account, I want you to have a second account at Caritas Microfinance Bank. If you have 2 accounts from other places, I want you to have an extra account from Caritas Microfinance Bank. Have a closer working relationship, because this is your baby. This is a well you dug in your compound. And if you dig a well in your compound, how can you not drink water from that well? How can you go to the neighbor to borrow water and you already have dug a well where you're supposed to draw water from. So I am asking, number one, enhanced relationship with Caritas Microfinance Bank. Number two, make Caritas Microfinance Bank primary banker for your self-help group. The primary banker. And I'm glad that Caritas Nairobi has actually done that, and the transactions of Caritas Nairobi are all terminating at Caritas Microfinance Bank. You as leaders, I am requesting and I am urging you, this is your baby. Please make Caritas Microfinance Bank the primary banker for your self-help group. Number three, support all payments from members' savings to be done through Caritas accounts via various Caritas Microfinance Bank channels. That is mobile banking, pay bills, agency banking, POSs, B2B, and we have all that. By the way, if you compare us with what you are getting from the neighborhood, which is brown or blue or green or red, or whichever color, you'll find that the products we have are much superior, if not comparable. There is no difference if you work with us or you work with the rest. The only difference is that the profit you make will go to His Eminence here, and he will distribute it, and he will grow the church. That is the only difference, because you are the owners. It will come back to you, and it will improve your well-being. Number four, support Caritas Microfinance Bank agency to grow in your parish. That agency, if it is not there, make sure it is there. If it is not there, make sure it is there. If it is there, make sure it gets support. We will come and support you to ensure it is supported. Number five, nominate strong youths who are members of self-help groups to be employed as direct sale representatives in Caritas Micro. We have opportunity. The other day, about 2 weeks ago, we employed 26 direct sales representatives, and we were in your various churches where we interviewed them, and we have now given them jobs. They've already started being trained, and in the next 1 week, actually by Monday, they start working, and they'll come back to you to now tell you, Daddy or Mommy, now I am working for Caritas Microfinance Bank, and this is what we need to do. So nominate them. Give us proposals of very strong, reliable youths we can be able to work with. Number six, encourage all self-help group members to open and operate a savings or an operative account with Caritas Microfinance Bank. Encourage them. When you're in your groups, please encourage them. Sell the bank. It is your bank. And don't forget to remind them that this is their bank. When you are here and you ask me for dividend, I will be asking you for a bank account. You ask me for dividend, I will be asking you for a bank account. And I can assure you, if we hit that 1.1 million, or whichever number we will hit, which is strong, that dividend will come to you so strongly, you will remember the day I stood here, which is on the 19th May, 2021. So let's have the accounts, let's have the numbers, and we will grow together. Number seven, and lastly, is you, yourself, and your members consume these customized products for the self-help groups, business loans, land purchase, property purchase, construction loans, asset finance from Caritas Bank. Consume them. So, my dear leaders, that is my wish list. That is all what I am begging you to give me. We are the same. We are part of this family, and we own this bank. Centenary Commercial Bank in Uganda is the largest bank in Uganda. Centenary. It is owned by the church, by the Catholic Church of Uganda, and it is the largest bank. We have a bigger population. We have a stronger economy. Why would we want Caritas Microfinance Bank to be so tiny, and it is owned by the Catholic Church? In Uganda, which is your neighborhood, it is the largest bank. Let us make our bank the largest bank in Kenya. And I know with your support as leaders, we will be able to do it. I want to thank you very, very much. And God bless you, and have a great day.
Thank you, Mr. Mukaru.
new as you are with the new ideas. The leaders have listened, and I think they are going to follow you for more relationship. I think now we are going to move to another program of awards, and I want to request my colleague, James Kenyajui, to take over from there to facilitate, and then we move on as fast as possible.
Thank you. We are moving on well, sindio? Si tunasonga vizuri. Like we said at the beginning of this meeting, please, any questions that you may have, any comments that you would want to give, please note them down, because there'll be a session for question and answer on each of the items or the speeches that have been given and each of the reports that have been given. Tumeelewana mpaka hapo? My colleague here, the other MC, requested for 30 minutes. And I was checking my time, and luckily the CEO of Caritas Microfinance Bank only took about 7 minutes. So we have another 23 that we have been extended. Sindio? Mulikuwa mkiangalia saa. So we have another 23 minutes. So we quickly move to presentation of awards. I call upon Eric Gishovi. Out of the 23 minutes, maybe you can take about 6. Thank you.
Your Eminence, John Cardinal Joy, the Archbishop Emeritus of the Archdiocese of Nairobi, our Director, Sister Mary Bashi, and all other protocols observed. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. My name is Eric Gishobi. I'm going to take a very short time to present the awards for the year 2020. As you may realize at the back of your booklet, we've reduced the number of awards. Number one, because of time limit. We needed to make sure that we finish as fast as we can. But again, also, the challenges we had in the year 2020 may not have allowed us to be very, very objective in going to very deep details of assessing for us to be able to get to the final awards like we always do. So I'm going to take a very short time, and because again of the guidelines, I will ask that we have only one leader here, our director presenting all the awards, apart from the last one for the overall group, which I'll ask His Eminence to come and present when that time comes. So I'll start with the number one presentation. I've sanitized this so I can remove this for the time being. Number one is the Group Silver Program Credit Management Award. For this award, we are looking at the group that has been outstanding throughout the year in management of their loans, in implementation of the policies, and also in ensuring that they are able to analyze very well their data to make informed decision. These informations, we get them when we come to visit your group, and also from the management letters that we get from our auditors, and in our interactions with you, and also from the assessment in our system. So if you don't, or your group doesn't have a system, kindly ensure that you get migrated so that we are able to get informed data from your group. So on this category, I'll ask Sister Mary to kindly come and help me present the certificate. My team also will be assisting me where we have trophy to give a trophy. So we have two groups, one in the urban and the other one in the semi-urban. And I'll ask when you're receiving your certificate, please ensure that you also protect our director by keeping that distance, and only receive the certificate after sanitizing your hands. The first group from urban is Holy Cross Dandola Self-Help Group. They emerged winner in that category. They usually, even when you go to their office today, you'll find a data displayed of how that group is performing, and that help any member of management or staff to interact with that data and help in follow-up. I'll ask one of my colleagues to come and help me get the certificate near the director. Oh yeah, thank you, sister. From the semi-urban, we have Corpus Christi, Nderu, and as we celebrate Corpus Christi, we also thank God for the life of their treasurer, who went to be with him on 24th, and he is being laid to rest tomorrow. So we thank God for the work that their treasurer did, and also the rest of the management to be able to achieve this. Then prepare my team seems not to be very prepared with their trophies. I'm told there was another gift, but maybe they can be given later on. Moses, maybe they can be given later on. We have a mobilization award for the recruitment of members. So this award is given to the group that has been leading in mobilization of members. And this group, for the last 2 years, they have actually been recruiting more than 1,600 members every year. And the efforts they have put in place, number one, they have, like what Mr. Mukalo, the CEO, has said, they have direct sales rep. They mobilize young boys from the area, the estate, and they go around talking to members with their flyers. So you always find members coming and saying, nimetumwa nije nifungue account. So for this, we are giving also to Holy Cross Dadora Self-Help Group from Eastern Zone. Thank you, Mr. Moshero and team, for the good work that you're doing. Maybe we can be using that route as we come so that we don't have much. Then the next one is the management of the year. This one we are looking at a member of management who was, in terms of skills, managerial skills, outstanding, conflict resolutions. When we have issues, how do you handle the issues? Not only in the group, but also at the zone level. So this one we work closely even with the zone groups to see what is going on, and also the resourcefulness in your group. How do you manage the activities of the group? How well are you informed on what is happening in your group? Sometimes we come to your group, ask you very few questions, and we realize maybe you are not really hands-on on what is happening. So we really measure that. And on this, we have 2 individuals who will be getting a trophy, a certificate, and also a small token. From Eastern Zone, we have Mr. Patrick Moshero, Holy Cross Dadora Self-Help Group. And from Ruaraka Zone, we have Madam Jacqueline Chepkoech. So I'll ask the chair for St. Francis Kasarani to pick the one for Kerich. Then Jacqueline. The most improved group is another category that we looked at. This is a group that has shown consistent in improvement of their services, both governance, HR, and of course also the members' growth, operations, and compliance. For this group, the group that won an award is Roiro Catholic Church Members Development Fund, now known as St. Francis of Assisi Catholic Church Roiro Self-Help Group. Let's appreciate them, please. Then we have Mentorship Award. This is for the groups which have really opened their doors to other groups to come and learn from them. They are doing it in their best way. It is working for them. They are not selfish. They always open doors for others to go and learn, and they don't charge for them to do that. This is none other than St. Francis Kasarani Self-Help Group. Please keep doing that. keep welcoming us to come and learn what you're doing. The other one is for the zone, and we are giving the best managed zone in the year 2020. This zone, even before we finished saying we need statistical information, they had already given. They had one of the best zone meetings, very well organized, and also they happened to be the host of today's AGM, that is Nairobi Central Zone. Remember last year, their leaders got an award, so that means they are really putting effort to maintain that. Peter? Yes. Then the next one is the zone representative of the year. And this is a representative, of course, all of them are winners. But we also look at among the winners who has been showing consistent in terms of governance, whose zone has been having challenges maybe in the past, and right now they are doing well, or there is that very clear improvement signs. And on this, we are giving to our own Master of Ceremony, James Makena Wanyangi. Then the other one is on the most dynamic self-help group. On this, we are looking at how did you manage, especially the pandemic. How did you change with the changes and ensured your members remained informed? This group kept on talking to their members through very many forums, and they don't only talk to their members, they ensure also they give this information to other groups, and they always change with the changes that are happening. This is none other than St. Paul's Chapel Self-Help Group from Nairobi Central. Then, the best self-help group in human resource management. We look at how are you helping your staff grow? How are you able to identify the gaps, the human capital gap, and address them? How are your staff also competent? The welfare of the staff, are you keen in ensuring that your staff are comfortable working? And also the discipline of staff. This group has 16 members of staff and some interns, and they have really demonstrated high capacity in ensuring they are doing well in management of their human capital. This is St. Francis of Assisi Catholic Church Loiro Self-Help Group. So from Baker Zone. Thank you so much, and may you continue doing that. You can learn 1 or 2 lessons from them on staff management. They started, especially the medical cover, even before we thought of it, and it's a group that many staff really look forward to working. Thank you so much, Mr. Manudhu, for the work that you're doing. Thank you so much. So on this last one, Sister, thank you so much for assisting me on that. I kindly ask Your Eminence to kindly come and help me present this award to the overall performing self-help group. On this, we were looking at the group that was outstanding in registration of members, assets growth, compliance to policies, regulations, and regulatory frameworks. A group that performed in all categories outstanding in the year 2020. Of course, I know you know which one is it. Sidio? Gani? Holy Cross Dandola Self-Help Group. I think they need to look for a car to carry all this. They happen to come 2 of them because one of their officials is also the secretary to the zone, Eastern Zone. So don't ask kwa nini wako wawili na sisi tuliambiwa mmoja. That is the reason. Before you sit, Your Eminence, kindly help me also award this. We have our zone representatives who have retired from the office, having served us very well. They have retired in their groups, and they also, as per the policy, retire from the zones. One is from Thika zone, Mr. Lawrence Muga. Mr. Muga has served us in more than, I think, 8 years. He has been in service of the zone. We really appreciate him for that work well done. May God bless you and continue giving you strength, even as you do the other duties that you are doing. He has retired, but as you can see, he still has energy. He has not gotten tired. So we still keep on relying on him to help us in other matters in the zone. Then we have from Kagwe zone, Martin Daidi, who also has retired, having served for more than 6 years. So we appreciate him for the work that he has done within that particular zone. Yes, on behalf. Then Stephen will come and correct on behalf of Michael Donye. Michael Donye was zone rep for Western Zone, again having served the zone and retired from the group. As per the policies, he also retired from the zone. Thank you so much, my colleagues. Thank you so much, Your Eminence, for assisting me give that or appreciate our leaders. The last one, allow me to ask the CEO. Thank you, Your Eminence. Thank you, yes. Thank you so much. Allow me to request the CEO Caritas Microfinance Bank take a very short time and present certificates to our groups which have supported or shown support to the bank. He has said something very important. There is a committee that is working on building the relationship between us self-help groups at the bank. I'm in that committee, so kindly using the forums that we have, give me anything that you want the bank to do for you. He told me anything. So if you want a loan at 0%, please let me know. And we'll be able to give it to him. They will be able to work out and see how they will still give us some dividends and still make us happy as the key stakeholders of the bank. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Eric. Like you've said, what you plant is what you get. We have 4 categories of groups that have worked with us very, very strongly, and I want to invite Oleaula, our board member. You can sit. Just sit. Our board member, Mr. Oleaula, is our board member, and we appreciate his support. We have 4 categories of groups that have worked very well. We have a category talking about agent transactions, which agents have worked very well, debit and credit. Then we have another category, number of accounts opened. And then we have another category, M-Pesa bill, pay bill deposits. And the last category, the most supportive in terms of marketing, Caritas Microfinance Bank. And the winner for category number 1 is Ruiru Members Development Fund Self-Help Group that transacted a total of 66 million over a very short span with us. And we really want to appreciate them. Very, very strong, one of the strongest self-help group I've come across in my 29 years of experience. And I think must be one of the best in this country, if I may so in terms of size. So Ruiru, keep up. We are glad. We will support whatever you are doing on the ground. We will be with you opening a branch very soon near your area. The second one is Umoja Catholic Church Self-Help Group, has transacted a total of 44.7 million shillings with us. Let's give them a clap. Umoja, well done. That's my neighbor in Kariobangi. I don't want to forget that. And the chairman is happily joining her. We appreciate you, chairman. Number 3, following that is St. Francis Kasarani, 26.7 million. Let's give them a clap. And we also thought, because the others were following very closely, we don't leave them behind. There was a very close and a very good support by Divine Word, Kayole Self-Help Group that has transacted 24.5 million shillings with us. Thank you very much and congratulations. And finally, number 5 here, there is Kairi Catholic Church Self-Help Group that transacted 24.1 million Kenya shillings. Let's appreciate Kairi Catholic Church. So the second category is the self-help group that has opened the most number of accounts this year, starting with Gisharani Catholic Self-Help Group has opened 104 accounts this year. Yeah, we have number 5, Kairi. Please let's move a little bit so that can beat our Kairi. Thank you very much. The second category is the number of accounts opened, and I had just mentioned Gesharani Catholic Self-Help Group that has opened 104 accounts this year only, and let's appreciate them. The second one is Kairi again. Before you sit down, you are doing very well, you're working very hard. This is number 2 with 50 accounts so far this year. And the third one is Kagambwa Catholic Self-Help Group with 36 accounts. Let's appreciate them. The second last category, Kagambwa. Sister, we're moving on well? Okay. Kagambwa Catholic. Let's appreciate them as they come. Leadership is not easy. When you now marshal your people and they're able to do something, that is a strength in a leader. And we must always appreciate that. The third category is a group that is doing very well with the M-Pesa pay bill. Deposits, the members have opened accounts and they are really transacting. So it means there is a lot of encouragement and a lot of love for this bank. Ruiru Members Development Self-Help Group with a whooping 263 million transactions terminating in Caritas Bank. So you can imagine now they have found a solution for what they are doing on the ground. Their people are paying from where they are, and they are paying directly into their accounts. And that's why you find their pay bill is very busy. 263 million, and that is running through Caritas Microfinance Bank. Let's appreciate them once again. St. Francis Kasarani doing very well, whooping 76 million. Running, and you can see now, the people who are, you can tell now success. If you asked, how do I become successful? You can now be able to write the key indicators of a successful group. Caritas is at the middle of all that. I assure you, Caritas Microfinance Bank is really supporting in that level. Umoja Catholic Church Self-Help Group is the third one with a whooping 75 million transaction over that short period. So Umoja, let's appreciate them. 75 million transaction, and their members are pushing in that category. The last category, as I finish, is the most supportive self-help group in marketing Caritas Microfinance products. They're always calling us for marketing. They're always inviting us. And this is Gesharani Catholic Church Self-Help Group. Well done, Gesharani. Continue doing the nice job. We appreciate you, Gisharani, the most supportive group, and sister, there is another? Oh, okay. Gisharani is the most supportive in marketing Caritas Microfinance Bank on the ground. And you can see that's how they have been able to open all those bank accounts for the microfinance bank. So team, I just want to finish by saying we are here for you. We will continue supporting you. When you look at the ecosystem you're operating in, institutions that are working with their members, are very strong. Behind me, the building that looks like a bell bottom and is green and is supporting farmers on the ground has no apology saying, us, we support farmers and we support SACCOs. You understand? Sure. They have no apology. And that is the base. Those are the owners. 76% of that bank is owned by those people on the ground. And they support their own. All their transactions are terminating there. And they feel very proud when they come for delegates meeting like here, and they want to support their bank. And the dividends go back to them. 76% of the dividends go back to them. And I know it is something we can be able to do. On the other side, there is one that has a D and a T and a B, and you know the community around it. They have no apology supporting their bank. And they know when we support our own, we will grow together. We can only grow together if we support each other. So I know we will be able to do it. And next time we come in here, we'll have a whole full list of 3 pages of people we will be awarding. So thank you very much.
Thank you, David. I think we are progressing well. Cindy, can we give a big clap to all the groups that have... Can we promise ourselves, for the ones who did not come here, that next year, it will be my group? Can we do that? Can we also say, it will be my group? It will be my group. Exactly. That is how competition should be. Because we would all want to be appreciated. We would all want to bask in the glory of success. Let me call upon Sister Mary Mbashi, our Director, Caritas, for the next session, which is appreciating His Eminence, John Cardinal Njue. Sister.
God is good and all the time. It is our moment now, all of us, to appreciate His Eminence, John Cardinal Njue, Archbishop Emeritus from the Archdiocese of Nairobi. And we are appreciating him for having served us for 13 years as our chief patron of the Archdiocese of Nairobi Self-Help Program. Since I joined Caritas Nairobi until today, I would want to testify that there is no single day or moment that I requested the support from His Eminence on how to go about the issues of our self-help groups, and he didn't act. And so, Your Eminence, we are humbled today that we are appreciating your support towards our self-help program that has really seen a big growth for the time that you had been working with us. I start this message of appreciation by saying that we are thanking God. And I'm sure fellow leaders, you would agree with me, that His Eminence is a big gift to the church. From the Archdiocese of Nairobi and to the entire communities in our country. He has shown what we call selfless commitment towards the work that we had been doing together. And we want to continue telling God that He continue giving him all the graces and energy to continue serving Him. Even as we keep on referring to him as the Archbishop Emeritus, to some of us, it is a term or a name that is not really talking to us. Because we see him with us, and he is available to continue giving us the service that we need. So, Your Eminence, we ask God to keep you safe, health, and more energetic to continue serving Him in whatever capacity He will ask you to. Precisely, for the last 7 years, just to mention a few of the achievements we have noted when we were working closely with His Eminence, is that from the savings that we have been able to put together at the level of our office and supporting our groups, from 2013, we were at 2.5 billion shillings. Today, we are celebrating that we have been able to pull together the savings up to 7.5 billion. Let us appreciate him. As we mobilized the expansion of our membership, he had been also in the front line to encourage us as leaders to continue doing so. By 2013, our membership stood at 98,127. Today, we are at 145,692. Let us clap for him. Another major achievement we feel that we need to appreciate him for as the technical office, it is the support we have received. Technically, he had been working with us, advising us on the different issues, and also at the level of supporting our operations, ensuring that in the same year, 2013-2014, he enabled us to get a formal and conducive office with a very good environment that has enabled us to give what we call effective and efficient service to our groups and to our program. Let us appreciate him. Apart from that, a very important one, achievement. I just want to say this, that I joined Caritas Nairobi on the 1st of March in the year 2011. And the one project that His Eminence told me I must work on and it must start is the establishment of the Caritas Microfinance Bank. Very important for us. So, he supported me in all areas. Whatever kind of support I needed, I got from his office. We worked together at the level of Caritas Nairobi board, being the chairman, and finally we were able to get the license to run the bank by 15th of June 2015. A very big achievement. Let us appreciate him. And since we started the operations of Caritas Microfinance Bank until today, he is journeying with us. Every other moment you meet with him, he keeps on asking, how are they doing? How is our bank and all that? So, Your Eminence, what we are saying is that we cannot forget your commitment towards the support that we have required as a leader with a very big vision for the Archdiocese of Nairobi. We have seen that. You have helped us learn how to do things, and that is why we are where we are. 5 down the lines. 5 down the line, Caritas Microfinance Bank, we have been told that we have now moved from the loss-making phase. Now we are already, we are profit-making. Let us clap for him. What am I saying is that all these, they are achievements, and he is leaving a very great legacy behind us. So we can only say a very big word of thank you, Your Eminence, and we request that any time that we might need your support, you will be more than willing to continue supporting us. So thank you for the time, the energy, and the care you have shown towards the support of our self-help program. So at this particular moment, we are going to appreciate His Eminence with a small token being presented by the team from advisory board, and also from the technical office. I invite Alan, Mr. Kinyajui, Graham, and Lawrence to escort the token that we want to give to His Eminence, and also Rose. Yeah, and from the technical office we have also Eric representing all the staff members from Caritas Nairobi. And as we present this small token, I request that yes. I'm saying as we present this small token to His Eminence, I will request that all of us who are behind here, we stand so that we show solidarity with all of us as we really tell him that we are very grateful for all what he has done for our program. Karibu sana, Your Eminence. There is an envelope there at the card. Behind there, there is a photo that will always remind you about the technical office you are working with while you are serving the self-help program from the Archdiocese of Nairobi to achieve the performance where we are today. Let us all appreciate. Thank you very much. Asanteni sana. So, Your Eminence, I don't know whether you would want to say a word to greet the leaders and appreciate.
So, dear friends, I think you have heard with your own ears. I am being told to say a word. So I am not really going to talk much, and I think you know that normally I am a man of a few words, but mine is to say thank you very much for this journey that has been able to be made. by this association of the self-help and so on. When I look at things like this, I say, thanks be to God. Because these are things, and particularly when they have grown, are things which are telling us or reminding us what I was reminded from when I was small. Why don't you ask me what? Tumite kurasa, tuewa kurasa, na tuerekere kurasa. Wewe. We are coming from far, we are still far, and we are going far. That thing has never left me. Originally, I used to talk about, even before I had seen these organizations and so on, but that experience that I had in that place called Embu, I have never forgotten. I know where they were by the time I arrived there. But slowly by slowly, that place was really different. Because there was that insistence. Be proud of whom God has made you to be. And keep in mind that there where you are, when we are in this world, is not itself a heaven. It's a place where, yes, sometimes you may find joy, but other times you may find difficulties. And in most times, difficulties were there. But we were told, problems come and go, but you are there to stay. Are we together? And I remember very well when I was there in that way, I was so sad because I didn't know where to really begin these diocese that I was sent to begin. For your information, because there was not even a house. Why don't you say makofi kwenu? And you clap for me for being in a certain. But what I'm trying to say is, yes, there. In other words, there was a sign of poverty. But I remember what we were being told from when I was small. There is no place which does not have its own richness. And I remember when we began kind of uniting people together and so on, blah, 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 things became different, step by step. My dear friends, I'm so happy when I'm hearing here now, even so loudly, of the self-help group. You know where you are. But is that where you are yesterday? No. Is that where you are a year ago? No. And so on. We are coming from far, we are still far, and we are going far. This is what I'm trying to encourage you. And remember, my dear friends, sometimes people begin kind of remaining back because for them they are in a poor area. But I remember I was insisting even where I was. There is, there is nowhere where there is nothing that is kind of beneficial. There is no place which does not have its own richness. No place which does not have its richness. So, self-help group is a group really of encouragement. It's a group of empowerment. And helping so that even those who are not working, because that they are poor, that soon they can be able to realize what they are going through is not something that is kind of part and parcel of their own identity, but that there is something they can be able to do, and so that then they can be able to walk and walk well. Mine is to say, I feel so happy when I see this now self-help. Are you the only members of self-help when you are here? There are so many others. You are leaders, isn't it? But if all the leaders, all the people came here, I don't know even where we would sit. And that is when it was started, and the journey that you have been able to do is such a long journey, but you have been able to come up. So, listen, you are the ones who are there now. In the leadership, please have that kind of attention to the people that you have been given to lead, so that even those who are kind of looking down as you are here, when you continue encouraging them, then they can realize there is a little something they can do to make their lives different. So I congratulate you. Because people, what has been mentioned about it, self-help, I don't think could have reached there. But it is there where it is because there has been a real cooperation and helping the people also to have the spirit of ownership. So mine is to say, please move on. Move on. And make sure that now that you have been elected as a leader, make sure that, well, as you are going, you don't leave it where you found it. But you must make sure that there is a step forward. Are we together? So remember what we used to be told by Bishop, at that time was Bishop Gatimo. Forward ever, backward never. Forward ever, backward never. Let us move ahead, and because you're there where you are, problems will be there. But remember, they come and go, but you are there to stay, and also to become a source of hope for those who are with you. I'm not going to talk more than that. I think you know me very well. That normally I am a man of few words, and yeah. Mnanicheka kwani ninaongea sana. So mine is say congratulations really, and keep it up, because then when your time comes to leave that leadership, what heritage can you leave to those who are coming later on? And by so doing, what heritage can you leave to your family and even to the people that you have been called to serve? So congratulations, 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 and keep up. Forward ever. Forward ever. So you have reached where you have reached. If ever I hear that this thing is kind of going back and so on, then that time you'll know why I am called Joy. Have you understood my message? Yes. So let us move on. And for the benefit of those who are there now, and for the benefit of those who are coming after us, and so on. May God bless you. May He encourage you. And may you really do whatever you can there to become always a living instrument of God in the manifestation of your presence there by doing whatever is good and beneficial to those people. I think you know that I don't talk much. I am a man of few words. So be assured of my prayers. And I can tell you, when you are talking even of the bank, I feel so happy. I feel so happy. Because even some bishop are asking me, where did you get this bank from? And so on. Where? Sinja kuorota, nikandole kame but listen, that heritage that you have received, take care of it and make sure that then you can use it in such a way that it becomes beneficial to those who are, you have been given. Let this be the same. This bank and so on, if I receipt from 2000 and, from 2015 and so on, if you look at where it has reached now, you can say, wow, you know, and some even man be saying, where was it? And so on. Anyway, I'm not going to that, but just to say, please, let us thank the Lord for where we have been able to go. And that has happened because those who are involved in a kind of taking care of this or that, the other one, they have played their rightful role. And so that even if you are not in the bank and so on, but I think you are involved in investing in it and so on, you also are tremendously central and important in it and so on. May God bless us. May He give us His strength so that we can be able to continue knowing Him, loving Him, and serving Him in the best way possible as we continue on our journey towards Him. Ni hayo tu kutoka chumba chetu cha habari. Mungu awabariki.
Can we all stand up and give our... Can we all stand up and clap again? We give him more. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's clap. Thank you. That was a standing ovation for His Eminence for the work that he has done. So we can all sit down. From 2.5 billion to 7.5. Sioni bilioni tano. He has done a lot for us, yeah? And that is why we appreciate him and we love him. And we are forever grateful. We are now going to the last section and answers. Tulikuwa tumesema tuandike. Okay? So we'll go through each and every report and see whatever questions might be there. There's a panel here that will be able to answer so that we are able to move ahead. Okay. Opening remarks and introduction, here ilienda. Reading and confirmation of previous LAGM minutes. So we go to the, that's on page 3. Tuko kwa minutes page 3, si ndio? Aya. Members present ndio hao, agenda ndio hiyo, preliminaries ndio hiyo. Si ndio? Page 4. Reading and confirmation of previous LAGM minutes. Any question there? Microphone pale. On minute 2, reading and confirmation of previous LAGM minutes.
Allow me to use Swahili.
Not a problem, sir.
Asante. My point or observation is that from the minutes.
Yes, from the minutes, we are on page 4, minutes 2.
No, from the minutes, from the members present up to the where you are.
Yeah.
Members present.
Yeah.
My name is Matthew Otieno. I'm from St. Vincent, Western Dinari. From members present, I have a request. In our previous meeting, I had requested also the same, as in, I can see we are called 465 self-help group officials. But going by the book always used, if you have noticed, we always have 2 pages empty, just white. Can we please make use of the pages and write our names? Because I will be happy if, like in this meeting, I'll be referred from my self-help group. They can at least say that Matthew was in this meeting with His Eminence Cardinal Njue and Sister Mbashi.
Thank you, Vincent. Thank you, Vincent. Now, 465 self-help group members. I think writing the 465, yes, it would be okay, but might take a bit of, you get. Maybe what you can do now, when you get the booklet today, just write your name in the second page, and that will suffice for the day. Minute number 2, anything on? Okay. Minute 3. We are reading together, Sindio. Minute 4. You took down notes. You noted down what you wanted to ask. Kanatia, Sindio.
God is good.
All the time.
And all the time.
God is good.
I'm Joseph Kiari from Dumberi. On minute number 5. Oh, you are?
I'm on number 4.
Okay, sorry. Number 4.
So anyone on number 4? Okay, we go back to Kiari, minute 5. Now you can go ahead.
On minute number 5 on ICT.
ICT?
Yes, I wanted to ask whether we now have adequate staff to do with the development of the ICT in terms of the system. Because now here last year we had that, we had noted there was that inefficient. Now my question is are we now up to the task?
Okay, thank you. Like I said, I sit in the advisory, my name is Kinyanjif, representing Eastern Zone, and I'm the secretary of the advisory board. Now the issue of staff and increasing the ICT staff and increasing auditors has been handled, and I can tell you that the ICT department now has more members than it had last year, so it's now capable of resolving any ICT issues. Okay? Anyone else? Minute 5? Oh, page by page. Oh, okay, so page 5. Page 6. We had all the time to write, Sindio. Page 7. Yeah, page 7.
Yeah, page 7, minute 8.
Yeah.
His Eminence has indicated that Kiriko Parish self-help group to be revived. Was that done?
Okay, I'll throw that question to the zone rep. Kiriko, was it opened? Reviving. Chukua hiyo microphone, hapana kuja kuchukua hii.
Thank you for that question. Good afternoon, everyone.
Afternoon.
So, Keriko, we have done some work, what I can call groundwork. We started by visiting the parish, understanding what had happened. We also had a meeting with the church leaders, that is the moderator. We also had a meeting as a zone, the chairpersons. We strategized. Then we came up with some dates when we were to go, because one of the things that we felt was that we need first to educate the members, so that after education, that is what now would yield better coordination. So unfortunately, we have planned twice. The first time we planned, then the lockdown came. Then this year, we had another meeting, we planned. We planned to start around, I think it was end of March, April. Then the Sunday we were to go, again another lockdown came. So we felt then we have to wait, we see how things work, so that once the COVID issues cool down, we felt with the father in charge that we first also then hold, we wait for how the situation goes. Then in the next 1 month or so, if things stabilize and there is no more lockdown and those limitations, then we can go back and talk to the members. So it's still on course. We are very hopeful this year we will not have a lot of disruptions. I think last year the COVID took like almost 7 or 8 months, yeah, the lockdown. So it affected what we had planned. But it is one of the things that we are working on. The leaders from Mangu, they are here, they can tell you, it is one of the discussions that we have been holding as part of the management, because we said the current groups will help us to revive the groups there, because they already know the benefits of the group. So it is work in progress. So I'm hoping the next time we have the next Ragum, so we will have a representative from Keriko here.
Thank you, Joseph. He has answered satisfactorily, Sindio. Okay, so in summary, he's the zone rep for Mangu. They have been in touch with the Kiriko parish. They have planned to go several times, and by next, so it is work in progress. So by the next meeting, we should have a positive response. We move on, page 8. Yes.
Tumsifu Yesu Kristo.
Milele na milele, amina.
I'm Meshie from Thika Zone.
Yes, Meshie.
I want to congratulate all the people, all the groups, all the zones that have got awards. It's wonderful. It's giving us motisha. We also want to stand there a number of times. But my comment is, both to Caritas and to the bank, you are mixing wale wako university na wale wako PP1. So maybe we could have categories so that the groups that joined last year and have got 10 members in the bank maybe have done better than another group that has registered 100 and so on. Categories will also improve those who are down there so that they can come up. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mishia. That is well noted. I think, Eric, you've taken note of that. Plus the bank CEO. Page 9. Lastly, page 10 is signatures. Kuna maswali mambo ya signature? There seemed to be a question there. The last two. Yeah.
Okay, I'm Edwin Sabuni from St. Paul Self-Help Group, Nairobi Central Zone. I think my concern goes to minute 9. The question that was raised last year is that if these documents can be sent early, in advance, before the AGM, so that the various leaders can go through the documents, so that when you come to this meeting, at least we discuss what we are aware of, and not just seeing the document for the first time this morning. Then I think the other concern, I don't know where to categorize this, but this is concerning the strategic plan that was launched by Caritas. I think we'll need to be briefed on the progress of the strategic plan as we go along, because it was launched, and from the various reports that you have had, we haven't had the progress report of the strategic plan. Thank you.
Thank you. We shall handle the Caritas strategic plan when we come to AOB, yeah? But you're on minute 9 that the communication should be more efficient. I will also urge the office, that is Eric, so that the reports are sent a bit in advance, so that we are all able to scrutinize and be able to come and ask concrete questions. Indio? Okay. Any other question on page 10? There's one last one there.
Still, Matthew again. I wanted to talk about the strategic plan, but my last one is about the prayer. We can see minute 1 is like we didn't start the meeting with the prayer, and it ended with the prayer. So I think that should be...
Okay, we shall correct that. We had prayers, we had mass, the bishop was there. Thank you, it is noted. Now, at this juncture, now that we are finished with the minutes, before we go to any of the reports, His Eminence would want to leave, and I'll request him to give us the final blessings, so that tuache tukijadiliana kinyumbani, si ndio? Your Eminence.
Thank you very much. I just want you to know, I know that, well, there are some people waiting there for some time, but then I was told, well, let us hold on at least the minutes, and then even though we have done the way we have done, so I was just asking not to really to, well, if you want me to say the prayer, I will say it, but that is your maneno, yeah, and so on. But please understand that when you hear me asking to go, it's because there were some people there waiting for me, and I think I have also done quite a bit being here. Are we together? So then I have been told to bless you, but then I don't know whether you can see the blessing when you are seated. In the name of the Father, and to the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Glory be to the Father, and to the Son, and to the Holy Spirit. In the beginning is now, and ever shall be, world without end. Thank you, Lord, for bringing us here together, and for the reflections that have kind of been done. We ask you to continue blessing this association, and that those who are there now to operate in such a way that they can also be able to leave a meaningful heritage, yes, to those who come in leadership, but even to the people they are leading there in the family and in the community. May you, Lord, strengthen all of us, that when we are walking in your ways, we may dearly become also your instruments and your witnesses. We are. We ask this through Christ our Lord. The Lord be with you, and may the blessings of the Almighty God, the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit come down upon you and remain with you always.
Okay, we continue. Thank you, Your Eminence. Kuabuka kwa Mungu kweli kweli ni baraka. Thank you. Tunaendelea. The next one, presentation of statistical information. Si statistical muliona vile iko. And it was very, very well explained. And we can see from the year 2016 to date, 2020, December 2020, how things have improved. Okay? Director's speech, I think she gave a very moving speech. Yes?
I had a concern on the statistics.
Okay.
This is more of an addition.
Okay.
I think we need to include, since last year we experienced a number of difficulties here and there, we need to incorporate the withdrawals that we had from the various groups. I mean, either by form of death or people withdrawing, both in terms of value of their shares and the number of membership that withdrew from the groups, so that we can compare notes.
Thank you. That is well noted. Caritas team, I hope you've noted that. Okay. Director's speech was quite straightforward, and I think we got to know more about the program and what is going on and what is happening. Audited financial accounts. That is on page, started on page 17, there's nothing there, 18, 19, 20, straightforward. Question, page 21. Page 22. You know, the good thing is that people are noting. Page 23. Those are notes, huh? Okay. Okay. The approval of the 2021 financial budget that was done by Ann Gatere. Any question on that? Question there?
God is good.
All the time.
And all the time.
God is good.
My name is Muhungura Mbiu, St. Charles Lwanga, Limuru Zone. My question is on page 27, note 6 on transport and vehicle expenses. When we look at the motor vehicle usage, I would like maybe some more elaboration in terms of why that huge increment from 297,677,000 to 1.5 million.
Thank you. I think we take that one. Ann Gatera, motor vehicle usage. Microphone coming.
So in the year 2020, we all noticed that it was actually a different year. And in the month of April, you noticed that some of the activity had actually stalled. But when we resumed back to work, you find that most of our staff members were not able to use public means for them to be able to come and deliver the services to you. So you find that during this particular period,